Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese is on the radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
You know what time it is. Like you have to be told. It's been 7 months. It's 2 o'clock. It's time for you know who. Your friendly neighborhood. Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080. Enough with the nonsense. Usually I would give an opening monologue that would bore the bejesus out of most of you. But I've got no time. She's got somebody, maybe the nanny, maybe some other ne'er-do-well, picking up her children. She's here, she's live, and she's hanging out with us, none other than Mayor Erin Stewart.
A nanny.
I don't know. She's a working stiff. I don't know if you got a nanny, a babysitter, a garçon. Who's picking up the kids today?
My husband.
Your husband, okay. All right, fine. You can call him a garçon. My wife has been known to, she calls me her chauffeur now and again, so I can imagine that your husband, I'm sure you're a passenger princess, right? When you're with your husband and the kids, right?
Reluctantly, yes. He doesn't let me drive.
He doesn't let you drive?
Oh, no.
Applaud that man. Not because you're a bad driver. My wife has got a lot of road rage. I don't want to put you out there like that. Maybe a little bit?
Maybe a little bit.
Okay, all right, I get you. It's a high-temperature thing when women are on the road. Oh, well, people are on the road.
He tells me he drive like a maniac. He said,
does he say that?
You're not allowed to drive.
My wife does the brake check thing. You laughing? You must be guilty.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
What? And that's the reason why your husband don't let you drive. Smart. I don't feel like fighting today, Erin. Do you mind if we're not getting to a brawl today? We're not even in New Britain. What do you? That's like we're in Windsor. I don't know if I can fight these guys.
I hope he's not listening. He's probably listening.
Erin, thank you as always for coming in. It's always have fun when we're here on the program. I know you got business. Don't get me wrong. We will get to business, but this show is completely different. I know all the other wonks want to get in. Let's talk about fiscal responsibility.
Everybody talks about it.
Yeah. I know that's they're boring in a lot of ways, but you guys are.
Check the box. We're supportive fiscal responsibility.
Yeah, exactly. Indeed.
Yes.
So you have a little bit of, I guess, celebratory news. You have met the threshold financially. Yeah. Is that because you've met it? Is there no longer any fundraising in that capacity, or are you still going? What's the deal there?
So very exciting. So not only did we meet the capacity, we exceeded it, but we're all approved by State Elections Enforcement Commission. So huge hurdles that you have to overcome to qualify for the Citizens Election Program grant money. So we're done. So we're wash our hands of it. There's no more money that we need to raise for the remainder of this race. We're all approved. And so that happened last week. And it was, a year's worth of fundraising. Yeah. And over a month's worth of effort to put all the paperwork and put the application packet together. So it is a big shout out to my treasurer and my deputy treasurer, Val Marino. That's the boss. Okay. Val from Waterbury, that's the boss. And Max really taking the time to put together a great application. So, and first time around that they got it, we had to make minimal changes and they approved it the next meeting. So that's unheard of.
Okay. Well,
and so we are the first campaign in state's history of the program to qualify for a pre-convention grant. Okay. And so we're the earliest applicant in history too. So no one running in the same year has ever applied as early as we did. So now what that unlocks is you get this pre-convention grant. So we'll get $800,000 to run the race now from January until May. Okay. And then you have to prove the ballot access thresholds. Right. So we'll have to get at least 15% to qualify for the ballot at the convention. We're going to come out the nominee. Right. And then they release money for the primary. And then if you make it through the primary, then they release money for the general. But it all depends on CPI. They're going to be making adjustments too. So exactly how much remains to be seen.
There's a considerable amount of money that is coming here. Last total, I believe, are we looking at close to tens of millions of dollars?
That is correct. But they're adjusting this week. week, we believe, for CPI. So, and it's all based off of what the campaign spent previously.
Yeah.
And so it's to give you a level playing field with someone like Ned Lamont, who we know is going to dump at least $20 million into his own election campaign.
I am almost certain that number will increase beyond what he spent in the last campaign against Stefanowski, which we know is upwards of 26 to 28 million.
Yes. So I think qualifying for the Citizens Election Program, you will be at a disadvantage because you're not allowed to raise $1 more. So what they give you is what they give you.
Yeah.
So it'll be somewhere in the $22 to $23 million range at the end of the day if you make it through all the layers. But if he spends more, then there's nothing that says that you get anything additional.
Now, I wanted to ask you this really early on because there is a really, really tough part to your campaign, but primarily because you're running as a Republican, not because you're Erin Stewart. I do believe you have an opportunity to sort of excel at this because of who you are and where you were mayor. But without giving away the goods, many people suggest that you're going to have to do a lot of ground work in places like Bridgeport, Hartford, New Haven, strongholds, double-digit strongholds, if not, considerable strongholds for Democrats, Ned Lamont, even if the turnout is at 19, 12, 15%.
Yeah.
How are you going to do that? And do you believe that you have the boots on the ground to go in those areas? Are you going to, I don't think you're going to ignore them, right?
No, hell no. That's home. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, for me, I consider that to be like home turf.
Okay.
Send me in. I know what people in our cities in Connecticut want to hear about. I know what they want to talk about. I know what struggles they have. And they all know, and they relate to your message, too, about a government that tries to keep them down and in poverty for a reason.
Yeah.
And that's the message that I need to get out there and show them that there's a different way, there's a better way, and that you don't need a rich guy from Greenwich telling you what's good for you and how to live your life. You've got somebody who grew up like you in an area like you with, working class family, working class parents in somewhat of the hood, that knows and understands what they're going through. And so for me, I'm not afraid of that. I do think that as Republicans, our candidates have been certainly intimidated to go into the cities before because it's a world that they don't know. And don't get me wrong, some of that is a world that I don't know.
Really?
But what I do know, a little bit, but I'm not unintimidated by that and unafraid to go into places where Republicans have historically not gone into campaign. Listen, I've knocked on doors in the projects in Mount Pleasant and New Britain. Send me in Hartford and Bridgeport, unafraid. And you have to have the friends and the people and the places that are going to help you, welcome you, and help kind of walk you in and let you into those areas too. And I'm feeling very confident that we got that.
Let me ask you another tough question with regards to those areas.
Yeah.
Ned Lamont just recently, right at the point where he decided he was going to run for a third term, he immediately turned loose funds towards food stamps, in essence, entitlement programs and, welfare programs. That has always been a sell for the Democrat Party. Yeah. And many people say the reason why Republicans have sort of faced so much headwinds in those communities is because as Republicans, we don't preach the welfare state. Right? We don't preach the, depend on the government, that you have a message. Inherently, you have a message of pull yourself by your bootstraps, which is nervous to the folks in Hartford or Bridgeport or New Haven.
Hand up, not a handout.
Right. How do you approach that? I don't know what your message will be, but what do you think is some of the ways that you can reach that inner city? Because what I say to them all the time is, and I get back, I'll say to them, who would you rather be in charge of your fate, the government or you? And Betty was like, of course, I would like to, but that's a risk I'm not willing to take, so I take the government handout. Yeah. Now, they don't say it like that. I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah,
but how do you combat that?
Because they know what to expect, and they expect that the government is always going to take care of them, which I think, there are some people that believe that. You'll never get them to vote Republican because of that, and that's fine. But there are many more people out there who want to have have the wherewithal to make it on their own, to be able to say that they made it on their own. But one of the things that bothered me about the food stamps and filling up these food pantries and giving money to places is that, now, like, you don't have, and this is something we talk about nationwide too, anybody can go in those lines. I could go in that line. You could go in that line. We don't need it.
Right.
And so what I think frustrates them more is that because you're just throwing money and not putting any type of boundary on who has access to that,
sure.
That is taking away resources from somebody who desperately needs it. And in a community like mine where I live in, you see all these people in the food line, and you're like, oh, hold on a second. Like I know where you work, and you definitely are not struggling. But they're going for the free stuff because we put it there. So, why is it that we're not putting, things in place where you have to show that you need it so that you're not taking away limited resources from people who desperately need it? And I do think that that's a message that resonates with people that have common sense.
Yeah, I totally hear that. We are coming up on a break. Well, we got a little bit, about 7 minutes before we come up on a break. I want to talk about some of the things that you think are important for the audience to know, because in essence, you are still vying for the Republican ticket against your opponent, Ryan Fazio. Are we going to see a debate between the two of you?
I have no idea.
Come on. What do you mean you have no idea? Have you anticipated it at all?
No one's saying that. I mean, listen, bring it on. But
why? What? No, nothing against that. Look, I've met with both of you. I like both of you. I think that you're both charismatic, in two different ways. But here's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
Many people, trust me, on the left, are going to be saying, hey, let's get the both of them on a stage and bash one another.
Yeah.
Why? Because the objective is to weaken you for your opponent.
Of course.
Right?
Of course.
But I think it's something you guys need to get ahead of time. Because that's I'll put it to you this way. You guys have been gaining so much ground as of late. As you just said, you're the first and the quickest to reach your threshold. That means that people are enthusiastic about your campaign as they are about Fazio's. Mm-hmm. And people do want to change. The only way to derail that is to get you two at odds with each other, choking each other out. I don't mean that physically, folks. Relax, okay? But I would
absolutely win. Just on
okay, maybe you would. But I'm certain that that's going to be asked about. Yeah, if indeed it were to come about, would you be interested?
Yeah.
Okay. I know, because trust me, I know how this goes.
Yeah, I think it would be stupid, but, because of what you stated, you don't want to show your hand. I mean, we both play for the same team.
Right.
So how much of a difference are you actually going to have when you get up?
Right.
However, that being said, I mean, it is important for people to see. But, that would probably be something that should happen in a primary. I don't know if it would be a pre-convention thing, but I hear you.
Yeah, well, I know there are no talks about it, but I promise you that that's going to come up.
Yeah, it's fine.
Primarily because I read an article not too long ago. I'm sure you read it. It was written by a Democrat. I don't know exactly who the person was. As soon as I saw the title, I knew it was complete bait. It was about whether or not either of you are going to accept Donald Trump's endorsement.
Oh.
Do you remember? Did you read that article or even hear about it?
It
was a very, very silly article about, in essence, trying to draw a wedge between you and nutmeggers because, you were saying it's like, look, I endorsed the president of the United States, and they were sort of egging you. I was like, well, do you endorse him now? Sort of trying to railroad your campaign early on.
Of course.
So I know that people are going to throw everything at you.
Oh, yeah.
They
already are.
Okay, fine. You brought it up. What are they trying so far?
Everything.
I've not heard any, and I pay attention.
Oh my God! Listen, the amount of misinformation that's out there about me that they're trying to spread, also from our own people too, is a little disheartening, right? When you see the nasty negative mailers that are going out against me, when you're looking at the false narrative that they're putting forth, that it's so funny for me when I look at my Facebook page and I see people comment, because you have all these people commenting like, "We hate you, you're MAGA, you're just you're a MAGA Republican, you bootlicker." They're calling all the things, but then on the other hand, you have all the comments that are saying like, "You're so liberal, you're a fake Republican, you rhino," and I'm like, this is hysterical to see this on the same post, like comment after comment, completely contradicting themselves, and I'm like, I just sit back and laugh. I'm like, great, well,
that's an interesting point, because I saw the Hartford Courant 2 days ago ran an article about both of you, and what was interesting was both photographs that they grabbed of you and Fazio were both of you laughing. No, actually, it was you and Ben Proto. showing you folks laughing and yucking it up with Lamont, which in essence was sort of feeding into that frenzy that, she's just one of those.
I have to tell you, so they keep using that picture.
They love that picture.
They keep using that picture. They love it. Do you know what I was just saying to him? In that picture, I was literally saying to him, hey, Governor, how are you? I can't wait to beat you this November. And he's laughing and I'm laughing. And that's my reaction of saying, like, I'm going to beat you, buddy.
Yeah. And so they turn that into, which adds to this fuel that you are, well, I say rhino, but they think that you're a part of the uniparty. And that's one of the things I want to talk about next, because I feel like it's a self-fulfilling prophecy for voters here to immediately peg you as something so that they don't have they have an excuse not to take part in the campaign.
Sure.
So now I want to get you here. I want to get you on a record to address those people.
Yeah.
One of the biggest problems that I have in Connecticut are these people who shrug their shoulders and say, why do we bother? It's a blue state. It's not that.
I hate that.
Okay, good. I'm glad you said that.
I can't stand it. And that's why Republicans continuously lose, because people like that sit home. They have no faith. They have no hope. They feel like they have no direction. They're like, they're just throwing the towel. Why?
You wouldn't get into this race if you thought there was no hope, would you?
You are absolutely 110% right. I know that there's an opportunity here to win with the right candidate, the right message, and the right time. And it is all coming together at the right time for me personally, because I know that Ned Lamont is vulnerable. And I know that the Republicans in this state deep down inside believe that, right? But my thing that I've always said is we got to do something different, putting forth a different kind of candidate that, from a different part of the state, looks different, from a different, social class, socioeconomic class. And all of that you have in my candidacy. So we shouldn't be looking for reasons, why creating our own narrative of why you don't feel that you should support me. You should be jumping on and saying, all right, what are some of the things that she's saying that I can latch on to?
Okay, no, that's all of that. Absolutely brilliant. We're going to get to a little bit more. We're going to ask some more tough questions. We'll, of course, ask how the campaign's going, where you've been, who you've talked to, have there been any endorsements, all of that good stuff. When we return, Erin Stewart is live, and she's not just here for 20 minutes like she did last time. And also, I want to make sure I give a shout-out to Rachel and her beautiful son. I am so happy that you are doing – I know you're listening, so listen to me close before I go to a break, Rachel, okay? I miss you. I miss you immediately, okay? I wish you were here because I would, of course, love to see pictures of the beautiful baby and you and the father and you guys celebrating, because then I would laugh at you and go, ha, 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 16 years, that's all over. So I hope you're doing well, okay? Suck it in. Enjoy all of it, Rachel. Enjoy all of it. It gets worse as this child gets older. Trust me, I've got plenty. God bless you. Let's take a break. We'll be back. Erin Stewart is hanging out here with Reese on the radio. It's News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Fan of WTIC? Then do us a favor. Download the free Odyssey app and favorite WTIC.
Hey, I got to make sure I thank Adam 12 because he has been my liaison, because apparently Erin doesn't have my cell phone number for some reason. Neither does Rachel, who wouldn't return my phone calls anyway. Well, I know, Rachel. I understand. You were pregnant. You have to deal with raising a child now. It's okay. It's quite all right. I know that now we are going to be fast friends, and you're going to, we're going to be the best of friends, Rachel and I. Perhaps there's a godfather role that, might be available. Maybe.
I'm dead.
No, I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm spitballing this stuff as it comes to me, Rachel, if not Godfather, possibly, like a Christian name. It's like, you can call the baby the first name and it may be Reese is the middle name. I don't know. I was just thinking. I'm kidding. I'm sending a shout out to Rachel because she and when we started this trying to get you on thing, it was a crazy back and forth as you was going through your exploratory committee. Yeah. And you weren't. Can you tell us now, not that it matters at all, did you always know you were going to run?
No.
You didn't?
No, I really didn't. Did I always have the fire in the belly for it? Yes.
Yeah.
But I think that it was really important for me to make sure that not only did I have all the pieces in place, but that I could achieve the goals that we needed to. I didn't want to do it if I didn't think that we could raise the money.
Right.
I didn't want to do it if I didn't think that we could win a primary.
Right.
If I didn't think that we could, get the 15% win the convention.
Mm-hmm.
So I really think I needed to do the background work, and Brock and my staff were incredibly helpful with that. showing me that there is a path forward and showing that there's a path to victory.
Are you now gathering volunteers and people who are going to be doing the groundwork? You're gonna need an army of people for this, Erin. Not to say that there aren't people who want change here, but you know that this is not something that you can take lightly because there's so many forces against you. Yep. In the sense of, and I say for any Republican, even if you and, Ryan were running on the same ticket, which I'll talk about in a second, but even if you were running on the same ticket, you would still be dealing with an avalanche of opposition in the state.
Yeah, no doubt. So we've been building our list, and Desiree, who heads up the home office, she's been fielding, I'm just talking hundreds of emails and calls and texts from people who want to be put on the list. And so what we're doing right now is building that and building them out by town and by region and by congressional district. And we're going to start deploying them. We've got work for you to do. Now, now that we've qualified for the public financing, okay, that hurdle's gone. Now we've got to focus it on the convention. And so reaching out to delegates and local town committees and doing all of that circuit of support is where we'll be tapping into volunteers right now. But then also you're running multiple campaigns simultaneously. Yeah. You can't wait. This is so big. We can't wait to go after Lamont. We can't wait to go, run a primary. So we're really running 3 campaigns at the same time.
Are you setting an atmosphere of change?
Hell yeah.
Okay, because a lot of people don't understand that. When I say an atmosphere of change, as I told you off air, we're already beginning that here at Reese on the radio. Yeah. And I've been told by brass here that says, there are equal time laws. And hey, Lamont, you ever want to come by here? You come on by, buddy. You come on, but no one wants you here more than Reese on the radio, Governor. Okay? Erin will come here 7 times to your 1. I still want you here more. You have let me say it to you again. Governor, really, come on by. Come on by. There's so many questions I want to ask you, especially about abortion for business. It's a biggie for me. But anyway, sorry.
It's a deal breaker. Really going to move my
just for me, I just really want to understand that. And how do you lose Lego, dude? How do you lose Lego? But that's another thing. Just please come on by. Just so I don't, again, just trying to understand. It's Lego. It sells itself. But
Legos are
have you been to the mall? The line's out the door. How did you lose it? I don't get it. But anyway, I'm sorry. I can't. I just can't. Anyway, would love to have you here, Governor. Please. So when I say you are sort of setting the temperature, this is what we're dealing with. Every day we're dealing with a governor who is releasing a press release about spending more money.
That's correct. That's
got to be, even if it's not about you, it's got to be about those who are going to vote come November. Yep. Is that this is a guy who is, in essence, running a Santa Claus campaign.
Right.
Right? Let me give you everything I possibly can for my final run.
Meanwhile, you're standing in the grocery line figuring out what you need to put back on the shelf because your bill is getting over $200 on nothing.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of like the
but
sort
he
of
don't know because he don't do his own grocery shopping. You want to talk about having nannies and stuff? He's got so many people that does this stuff for him.
Yes, indeed. And by the way, why do you think that is that Lamont is spending more money on a campaign in a state that's supposed to be a guaranteed win? We talked about in the last break about people sort of shrugging their shoulders saying, what's the use? But they're not watching this guy go from $18 million in 2018 to some $26 million in 2022. In essence, we're almost a $10 million difference in spending in a state that he's supposed to just walk away with.
He knows that he's vulnerable. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt in my mind that he knows that he's vulnerable. And I think that we'll continue to see that on full display as we start getting further and further into this race. He knows that his support is a mile wide, but only an inch deep.
Yeah. And, do you think that poll that came out maybe about early last year, that had him in a 54% favorability in the state? That's got to be bogus, right?
I don't believe that. We have our own internal polling, and we'll continue to do this. And again, you asked me if I had always known that I was running. Yeah. I wanted to see that, and I wanted to see that in internal data to show too that he is vulnerable. And Absolutely, 110%. People may, like him. People shrug their shoulders and go, whatever. He's a nice guy. But if you go one step further than that, there's nothing that they're holding on to that they can point to, that they can say, ooh, Ned Lamont did this. Ooh, he did that. No, that's not. So yeah, okay, so people feel okay, but they've never been shown a different way that excites them and ignites them to give them something different and to show them what change actually looks like. Well, and then here I come, and I'm going to slap you right in the face with it.
We're live here with gubernatorial candidate Erin Stewart, of course, former mayor of New Britain. Tough question I want to ask you, because this sort of, it's a question I wanted to ask immediately after it happened. You had a pick. Was it your personal pick to run it for New Britain mayor this last go-around? Was this your personal pick? Who ran?
I was very supportive of her.
Okay,
yeah.
But this wasn't a personal pick? This was just your support? Like, so you were out, so this person was running on their own, and then you threw your support behind? Like, how did that scenario work?
This was a person that, the Republican Town Committee had backed. She'd been involved. So it wasn't just me.
Okay.
But yeah, I supported her. And
No, I'm trying to figure out who was the person who tapped this individual. I can't even remember their name.
Oh, her name's Sharon Boulogne Saavedra.
Okay.
Sharon Saavedra.
So did you personally tap this individual
I was part of many who did, yes.
Okay, part of many who did.
Yeah.
What do you say to critics, and this has been brought up by a lot of people, that said that your endorsement of that candidate swung it back to a Democrat, and that may reflect poorly on you? What do you say to that?
Oh, that's so stupid. I mean, do you think that people blindly follow anyone? I mean, yes, there are some people out there that do. But in a community like New Britain, listen, Sharon worked incredibly hard, but she had so many factors that were also going against her, too. She's a great candidate. She's a former Democrat that turned to Republican to run with me because she believed in the mission, the vision that I had. There was a lot of factors, I think, that were going against her, too. Voter turnout was one of them. You want to talk about people who were not enthusiastic about coming out to vote? They certainly stayed home with an abysmal turnout that New Britain had in their municipal elections. People weren't excited. But I think that, when you have somebody who, a sitting state rep that was running, who had, oh my gosh, the parade of Ned Lamont and Susan Beisowitz and Dick Blumenthal that were in all the time helping them out and dumping money into his campaign, she couldn't compete with the money either.
Right.
The money race was really tough. But I also had my own thing going on too, and she wanted to be her own person, and she needed to be her own person and run her own campaign and build her own people. That's what makes you successful as a candidate. I'm not trying to be a puppet master.
You're trying to be a kingmaker either.
I wouldn't want somebody to do that to me, and that's why the establishment here doesn't necessarily care for me, because I don't want them pulling my strings. I'm not going to let them. I'll pull my own.
What do you say to that? That's often been attributed to you, that you are a go-along, get-along Republican, and you will, as we said earlier about the photograph with you and Ned Lamont, that you're, I don't know, in essence, one of the, what do they call it, the Greenwich dinner party crowd? I don't know. I don't know what that even means. Everybody says, I don't know what the Greenwich dinner party is.
I can promise you they ain't inviting me there, because I'll walk in and they're going to want to ask me to leave.
Wow. Okay.
But I don't, listen, I'm not a go along to get along kind of person. Anybody who knows me and knows my history and my record in New Britain knows that that's not it. But I do try to be a uniter amongst dividers, and I do try to find common ground in order to get something to move forward. I'm a doer. I don't just sit back and watch things happen. I want to help. And and everything that I've done as mayor has always been bring everybody to the table, let everybody, lay out all their opinions, find somewhere where we can find common ground to move us in the ultimate direction. But a lot of that comes with developing relationships with people and talking to people from the other side that others would just write off. So no, I'm absolutely not a go along to get along kind of person. I like to sit down, talk it through. I like to negotiate. I like to banter back and forth, oftentimes do a lot of ball busting in the process, and that's okay. But what we come out with is an end product that I think is good, that we can move forward instead of living in the past or where we were. That's just who I am as a person. So definitely not go along to get along.
On a different note, is it too early to ask you if you're fielding lieutenant governors yet?
Oh, I mean, listen, we've had conversations. Sure, it's something you absolutely have to start thinking about. And I think that there's certainly a list of people. There's no shortage of people who have come forward and said, I want to. But, vetting through that and thinking about who makes most sense, is something that we're starting to talk about now.
What are you going to do? I've only got a minute for release until I take the next break. But what I want to ask when we get back is some of the things that you're focusing on that people in Connecticut should be concerned about that you are going to address.
Sure.
And I know the easy stuff is electricity rates here. I know property tax. That's an easy one. A lot of those things are just, you can skip it. Yeah, exactly. Education and all of those things. But I want to talk about some of the things that you find that people in Connecticut, from your conversations with them, because I'm sure you're doing meet and greets and things like that. Haven't been invited to one, but I'm just saying.
Open to the public.
Yeah, fine. Anyway, I want to get to some of those things and the things that you're finding out, that what people are talking about that you either knew that you needed to focus on or you believe we should have more focus on. Okay? We'll talk about that when we get back. Stand by. More news, more views. Mayor Erin Stewart, because I think we're supposed to call you that in perpetuity.
I think so.
Yeah, right? We're supposed to call you that? Okay. So Mayor Erin Stewart, candidate for governor, is in the house. We'll talk a little bit more with her, and then she can get home. And then we'll have you here in June or something, because it takes that long just to get Rachel to respond in an email. I'm just teasing. Anyway, we'll be back. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, hanging out with Erin Stewart, Mayor Erin Stewart, who is running for governor here in the great state of Connecticut. And you have been meeting and greeting with folks all around the state. How many meet and greets have you had so far?
Oh gosh, let's see. We were in Fairfield. We're in Coventry Thursday night. We were on just last weekend and Saturday. We were in Newtown, obviously in New Britain, and Old Saybrook. Saybrook was where we kicked things off, too. Each one, I mean, listen, I've been getting over 100 people that are showing up at each one. They've been so encouraging. And it really, it's been very moving and very promising to generate this type of interest this early on.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why, is because sort of enough is enough kind of deal. What are you hearing from people when you go there? Because I'm sure that, it's just sort of like a back and forth with the attendees.
So I'm not doing it like as a town hall. Like, I want to talk to people individually. So,
okay,
and I
that's
want to hear, everybody comes there with something that they want to talk to me about. It's like, I'll do a little speechify thing, but I want to hear from people individually, directly. What is the problem? Like, why are you here? It has been such a cross-section of types of people, of issues that they're facing. Just this past weekend in Newtown, I had a guy come who wanted to talk with me about issues that he has as a contractor. As he's an electrical contractor, he's got issues with some of the CHRO requirements that are put on contractors in the state, and how it's preventing him from doing business, and how it's making it harder for him to do business. Small business owners. In Old Saybrook, I had a handful of teachers that came down to see me and talk to me, that wanted to talk about how frustrated they are with the fact that they can't teach because they're expected to be mental health providers in the classroom.
It's a big deal.
Man, like, I've had young people, I had some really young people that came. Actually, the chapter president of Turning Point USA for CCSU, he came last weekend, and he wanted to talk with me just about struggles of being a conservative on a campus. And any advice that I had to give in that regard. I've had
should have told him, just come to Reese on the radio. We'll take care of that.
I know,
we'll help him out.
But moms, right, that are struggling, homeschool parents that are worried that the state is going to come after them, because they homeschool their kids. It's just been such an incredible cross section of people, and a lot of working folks who are just concerned about unaffordable property taxes in their towns and the ever increasing cost of just trying to live here.
It seems like, and that's probably one of the biggest, I used to live in the DMV, as they said. That's D.C., Maryland, and Virginia, tri-state area. And I remember when there was a politician who lost election because the state was taxing people for rainwater, the runoff water. And, I remember when I first talked about it here in Connecticut, and people were just like, oh, yeah, we're that kind of state.
I know.
And it's really that crazy. I was at a home on Christmas, and they were telling me a story about how people are taxed. Like, it's designed a particular way in the tax but they are taxed because they can see Hartford from their view, like in essence, because I can see the city. Yeah. I mean, it's a view tax. And I'm sitting up there going, boy, they'll tax anything here.
Oh, yeah. If there's a way to tax it, they'll figure it out. Look at the stuff on the farmland that just came up the other day, too, figuring out how to tax farmland more, than what it has been in the past, and reevaluating farmland for more than what it's worth, even on wetlands and lands that you can't even build on.
Yeah.
You can't even build on them, and they're taxing them more. It's disgusting.
Can I tell you something that you just did that I thought was very, very, telling about who you are? And I hope people don't get mad because they think I'm saying something nice to you, but I'm being really, really honest. You know what I like about your passion? You forgot that there was a mic in front of you. You leaned forward. Yeah. I did. You forgot about it. You're not in an interview because no, but that's a telltale sign. I always pay attention to body language. You leaned past it because you were talking to me and having a conversation. No. That is a great attribute. It's a great character.
Yeah.
To have.
And then I realized it.
Yeah, it's like you realize you backed up. You're like, I'm just totally off the. No. But that's the kind of passion people need to see. Yeah. Last but not least, before we get out of here, I know we're not supposed to talk about elections because they're really, really taboo. But Linda Sinkowitz was here yesterday, and she talked yesterday about this lawsuit that the federal government has put against the Secretary of State and, of course, the state of Connecticut to release their voter rolls. You said off the air, just release them because they're not going to be able to keep them from the federal government.
So foolish. Why do we do this all the time? We cut off our nose to spite our face just by not providing information. I mean, all they're asking for is info. What are you hiding?
Yeah.
What are you afraid of?
I think, but to be honest with you.
Because Trump asked for it. That's it.
Let me tell you this, though. I will tell you this. What I think is so relevant about this case happening now, I think it's going to make a world of difference in this election this time around. I really do.
So.
If Connecticut, or at least the Secretary of State or William Tong, lose this case and they have to give it up, I think it's going to change everything about this election, at least in 2026 and 2028 in Connecticut.
Accountability, just to know that somebody's watching.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Keep in touch.
We'll be back.
I know you will. You have a great time when you're here. You do have fun here, don't you?
I do. I hope you enjoy me, too.
I love having you here, Erin. You and Ryan are absolutely fantastic. I can't wait until the governor comes by because I'm sure he'll have a great time.
Next time Rachel will be with me, we'll have her bring the baby.
Okay, I'll make sure that my wife is not here because my wife will smother that baby. All she wants is a grandbaby now. Thank you. Erin Stewart, Mayor Erin Stewart, gubernatorial candidate for this election's governor's race. Thank you, as always. We appreciate you coming in. We're going to take a break. We got news coming up with John Silva, so stand by. And, of course, we'll take your phone calls. You can talk about Erin Stewart behind her back, okay? But she'll be listening anyway. All right, we'll go to news. John Silver, it's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, good thing today that Erin Stewart showed up. Didn't have to do an opening monologue. So if you want to check out the Erin Stewart interview, all you have to do is go to WTIC.com or, of course, download the Odyssey app or iHeart, or you can go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com after the show so you can check out the interview yourself. I really, really do mean this, that the thing that I like about both of them, independent of each other, is the way in which they communicate. Erin is, how the best way to describe Erin Stewart, in my view, and this is because I've been in sort of so many different circles with different people. Erin has a very interesting style that makes her an original and authentic. Let me explain this way. She's got a little bit, Roland, I have to say this with you, Roland, because you went to the same school, right? Is that right? Did you and Erin went to the same school? Is it college or high school?
I believe she's a New Britain High graduate, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you went to New Britain High?
For a couple years,
For a couple of years. Tell me if I'm wrong here. Is there a little bit of, for lack of a better word, oomph in the way Erin communicates? Like she's from the neighborhood?
Well, she is.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? It's sort of like she is not cookie cutter uptight politics speak,
no.
You know what I mean? She's not. She's not. And I hate to use the term upper crust because I know what people think when you hear that. She is just like the people she represents. She's not above them or beneath them. She sees them eye to eye. That's the way that she talks and she communicates.
Yeah, actually, that's what's so dope about New Britain High is they had a lot of every race.
Yeah.
So they had Puerto Rican, Polish, Black, Asian, white. So you got a good mixture
of different cultures.
Yeah,
way of life.
And way of life, yeah. So that probably benefited her a lot.
Erin does this thing with her hand where she
she's making her point.
Yeah. But it's, I felt like every one of the girls I used to go to high school with who would like talk about politics with me and had that little gesture in there when they're trying to make the point. It's not so much like the rolling of the neck or anything like that, but she's very... I say there are two types of ladies, right? There are ones who, sort of bob back, back and front, sort of when they're talking. It's like, and then there's this point, and then there's this point, and then there's that girl who does, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Back and
but
forth.
she makes, when she's making a point, is because she thoroughly believes what she's telling you.
Yes.
And she's trying to relay that, her belief to you, in hopes that you believe what she's saying.
Right, and understanding.
But
I like that, especially that little thing she did with the microphone where she completely forgot where she was because she's in, like, these things, they matter to her. And that's, again, aside from, Ryan Fazio, what I like about him is that you can almost see his brain working as he's talking to you and about those things that are important. They come from two completely different backgrounds, but they are very down to earth when they communicate with you about those issues. And I like both of their styles. I meant to ask her about that, about the joint ticket. Not that it's ever going to happen, but just I know they're listening now. So, Erin, there's a lot of talk that says, hey, why don't you guys go together? I'm just saying. But that would be...
who's going to be who?
I know.
That's the issue
starts a
right
completely
there.
different argument. Just saying, starts a completely different. Who's number one? Who's number two?
Yeah, who's Jordan? Who's Pippen?
Yeah, who's Jordan? Who's Pippen? Good point. I actually like it that way. But yeah, I'm just saying that people are talking. I ain't talking. They're talking. I ain't talking. I got nothing to do with that. Let's get to some headlines. An Inspector General's report has revealed significant medical errors contributing to 2 overdose deaths at a Connecticut correctional facility. The findings point to a lapse in protocol, including delaying responses and inadequate monitoring of inmates at risk. This has prompted calls for immediate reforms in prison healthcare practices. You think? State officials are reviewing the report to implement changes such as enhanced training and better resource allocations. Families of the deceased are seeking accountability, while advocates argue this highlights broader issues in the correctional system's handling of substance abuse. The case could lead to policy shifts aimed at preventing future tragedies. A teenager in Connecticut, inspired by volunteering overseas, has turned his baking skills into a fundraising powerhouse, collecting more than $20,000 to support children's health care and education needs. Starting small with small local sales, the young philanthropist has expanded his efforts, baking treats like cookies and cakes to benefit international charities. He emphasizes that this is just the beginning, with plans to grow his initiative further. The teen's story has garnered community support, with locals praising his dedication and entrepreneurial spirit. Funds raised have already made tangible impacts, such as providing medical supplies and school materials to underprivileged kids abroad. This heartwarming tale showcases how individual actions can drive positive change on a global scale. The kid was also heard saying that a secret ingredient in his baked goods is crack. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. That was a writer's embellishment. That is not true. He did not put crack in the cookies. Just saying. He did not. I've been thinking about that story all day, and I've also been thinking about that joke all day. A proposed large-scale solar energy project in Connecticut plans to drill underneath a well-loved recreational trail, sparking worries among local residents about potential environmental and safety impacts. The project aims to expand renewable energy capacity, but involves underground construction that could disrupt the trail's integrity and surrounding ecosystems. How is it that an eco project is going to affect ecology? I don't get it. Why is it that every time these folks want to do something that's for climate change or to stop climate change, it only ends up screwing up the environment here in Connecticut? Can they not get it right? Can they not? Developers insist the drilling will be minimally invasive and comply with all regulations, promising to restore any affected areas post-construction. Despite these assurances, residents are pushing for more transparent impact assessments and alternative routes to preserve the trail. This story underscores the ongoing tension between advancing clean energy goal and protecting local landmarks. I don't get it. Every time you turn around, no matter how hard they try, the same thing happens over and over again. They can't seem to improve on the environment, no matter how hard they try. And now for the stupidest thing I read today.
Yes, you do. Stupid as can be. This could very well be the stupidest person on the face of the earth.
I hope this plays. Oh, I have a strange feeling it's not going to play. Of course it's not going to play. Why? Because I want it to play. And that's exactly how the world works. Whenever I want something to play, it doesn't. Okay, let me try again. The stupidest thing I read today.
The first Autistic Barbie doll is part of the Fashionistas line. The doll features flexible joints for stimming, which is the term for hand flapping or similar gestures that some people with autism use to express excitement or process sensory information. The Barbie comes with a fidget spinner, noise-canceling headphones, flat shoes, a flowy skirt for less fabric to skin contact, and a communication tablet to reflect various autistic experiences. Mattel has previously released dolls with Down syndrome, type 1 diabetes, blindness, vitiligo, hearing aids, and prosthetic legs.
What is going on? What is going on? Why can't this? I don't understand. I was always under the impression that everyone wanted to just be treated normal. That's what I always thought that growing up. That's what I thought. Are we really need an autistic Barbie? Am I going to be the one who has to say it? Am I going to have to be the controversial person who steps on the landmine of Autistic Barbie? Am I going to have to be the guy? Listen closely. This is what, again, by the way, if you have a child with autism, okay, and I am missing something here, please explain it to me. This is one of those moments where I can openly admit I am ignorant, okay? Because, okay, if you're disabled in the sense of like you have hearing loss, it doesn't make sense for you to have a deaf Barbie, right? It doesn't. To say that the Barbie's deaf, like, how does the kid experience that with the Barbie, right? It doesn't make sense. Help me understand why the autistic Barbie would make sense for an autistic child that plays with dolls. For me, this sounds like an opportunity to resume build or to not even revenue build. This seems like an opportunity to pat themselves on the back. Listen to it again if you missed it.
The first Autistic Barbie doll is part of the Fashionistas line. The doll features flexible joints for stimming, which is the term for hand flapping or similar gestures that some people with autism use to express excitement or process sensory information.
So you're saying that an autistic child would take the Barbie doll, because it can't do it on its own, it's not a mechanical doll, right, to then simulate stemming. An autistic child stems naturally. It is not it's not like an addiction, if you get my meaning, right? It's not like a habitual thing in the sense like they know that they are autistic. If they STEM, this is a product of their autism. If the Barbie doll can have adjustable arms, it is almost suggesting that the autistic child will know this and say, oh, look, my Barbie is stemming too. I know that sounds so wrong. I know it is. And again, I am saying to you openly and honestly, I am ignorant here, but someone's got to explain this to me. But as it plays, it gets worse.
The Barbie comes with a fidget spinner, noise-canceling headphones, flat shoes, a flowy skirt for less fabric to skin contact, and a communication tablet to reflect various autistic experiences.
I think this is for the parent. Because I almost feel like the autistic child doesn't see themselves as different, if you get my meaning. Right? They don't see themselves as being other than who they are. They don't recognize themselves as challenged in any way. Right? Now, if you are a kid missing an arm and you make a Barbie missing an appendage, that they can a kid without an arm would recognize, oh, the Barbie is just like me, normalizing my world through the Barbie. Unless I'm wrong here. Do I sound crazy? I know you don't want to touch this, Roland, but am I nuts? I'm not crazy here. Roland doesn't want to touch this at all. I'm not. You don't want to touch this at all. You want no parts. It's okay if you don't. Look, I will be the third rail guy. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Again, autism is not something that I would ever mock. I'm mocking the makers of Barbie here. Because I feel like this is an opportunity to draw attention to themselves, not to autism. No autistic kid would see this as a benefit to them.
To have an autistic Barbie
and
doll.
have an autistic Barbie doll. Yeah. Because again, and I'm saying this.
It's super disrespectful.
Exactly. I'm saying this. If I'm an autistic child, do I know that I'm autistic in the sense of me being different? No one who has an autistic child wants their child to see themselves as different. They want their child to be treated and accepted as a normal child like anyone else. Because guess what? If they're recognized as different, that they have other issues they're going to have to deal with sociology, in a social way, in a mental way. Right? So my child is autistic. Please treat them like a normal child. Here, Barbie is saying, hey, look, your kid's different. And I'm going, what am I missing here? Let me say that. Teresa said, yes, of course it is. Teresa says, Reese, I started reacting to the news that I detected it because I can't even know what to say about that. It's unbelievable that these are adults coming up with this nonsense for kids. That's right. Yeah. Is his name? What's his name? Rollo? Rollo says, no, I don't know. I can't even say that out loud. Aren't all dolls blind since they're not real and don't have real eyes? Yes, Jason, you're 100% right. You are. You are right. This doesn't make sense to me, and I know that I'm barking up that tree, man.
That's
Go ahead.
All these companies are so high on analytics, and using all these studies and analytical studies, to make money and gross, and these where they're getting their ideas from.
You know what? I almost feel like this is an application to appeal to Munchausen by proxy type parents. You know what I mean? That by saying it's like, in essence, seeing their autistic child as a trend. Like we saw this uptick in celebrities who now are outing their children or celebrating their children being transgender or non-binary. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's now some sort of like it's like a handbag, a trendy bag of some sort. Just talking about dolls is some creepy-ish. Agreed, John Beckman. I agree with you. I'm just saying, I'm not understanding why Barbie would have to put out this product.
And why?
Yes, and why exactly? And why? Who does it suit? Who is it for? It clearly isn't for the autistic kid, because the autistic kid doesn't see themselves as autistic.
And they're not grabbing that Barbie.
Exactly.
Trust me, they're not. They're grabbing the regular Barbie like every other kid.
Any other Barbie, they would just go, okay, I like. And as an autistic kid, it of course appeals to things like texture or shape or whatever the case may be. However, the autism is affecting that child. This again, you're right. I think it appears to be a money grab. I think that's exactly like it is. Like an accessory. You're 100%, Lori. And again, I don't get it. I don't. It sounds insane, but it's true. So, you know what? We are putting it in the you be illin' camp.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, that sounds great, right? Yeah, they definitely be illin'. We got to take a break. More news, more views. When we return, Lori also says, after the Chucky and Child Play dolls, they generally creep me out. Agreed. Totally agreed. Chucky was supposed to be a response to My Buddy. The My Buddy doll. Yeah, it's just an evil My Buddy doll. That's all it is.
I love My Buddy, too.
Yeah,
that was a prominent thing. Teddy Ruxpin, My Buddy.
Yes, My Buddy.
When I was a kid, those were the toys I wanted.
You see, we used to make dolls for kids who couldn't make friends. Kid doesn't have any social skills. We've got a doll for that.
For you. Get your Teddy Ruxpin
and a My Buddy.
And your My Buddy. And then it was Kid's sister for the women, right?
That's right, Kid's sister.
Yeah,
that's right, without a doubt. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. More news, more views when we return. It's Reese on the Radio.
Listen to WTIC News Talk 1080 on the free Odyssey app. Download and like WTIC today for alerts on special programming.
We're back. Reese on the Radio. Let's go to the phones real quick. 860-522-WTIC. Donna is in Southington. Hello, Donna.
Hi. Sorry, I'm just pulling in at the dentist. I was waiting on hold. I just wanted to say politely that you can't really talk about autism if you don't know autism. I thankfully have 3 sons. None of them have autism. I have type 1 diabetes. 2 of my sons have type 1 diabetes. But there's a very broad spectrum and levels of autism. And there are plenty of autistic boys and girls, adults, who know that they're autistic.
But, Donna, did you not hear what I said in the beginning when I even talked about it?
Like I said, I'm being polite.
No, I'm not being rude. I'm not trying to be rude. I totally appreciate. I appreciate you being polite. Just let me just answer you by saying this. I started off by saying that I know, and maybe you missed it. I said I know I am ignorant on the subject. In fact, in a self-deprecating way, called myself ignorant. Yeah. But then I asked people who have children with autism to explain to me if indeed an autistic child would recognize an autistic Barbie.
No, I did hear you say those things. Okay. Like I said, I got in the car when I left work and I'm driving to the dentist.
Okay.
I did hear you say those things. But I also heard you say that, things that, like you said, prove that you don't know or understand.
Right.
Autism.
And again, they were all done in a question, like in the form of a question. Right. It was like, does an autistic child know that this Barbie is autistic? Saying that the autistic Barbie has arms that what's the term that they use
Stimming.
Thank you. Right. I don't know what that. I've never heard that term before. So would an autistic child know that the Barbie that they're buying does that in particular, and to represent what they go through as autistic children? That made no sense to me, which is again why I said, in my ignorance, please explain to me if an autistic child would even recognize that.
And as I said, there are levels of autism. So I'm sorry, but I really have to run into
Go for it. It's okay, Donna.
But no, I do appreciate that you're saying that you don't understand and asking people to explain. And I really do hope people call in to explain.
Please.
Because, I have 2 grown sons who have type 1 diabetes. I have type 1 diabetes. My kids are older.
Right.
So,
Donna, you did. By the way, I'll let you go because I know you got to get to your appointment. But what I'm saying is this. Did I make it clear that my criticism was of Mattel and not someone with autism?
Possibly, but you made a lot of comments about parents and about parenting and Munchausers and things like that. So, it was a mixed blend of things.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. You too, Donna. I said, is this Munchausen by proxy was my question of, would a parent who, in essence, I'm trying to figure out who the audience is on this product, right? It's not. Okay, let me bear out the most honest question I can put out. Okay? Hear me out. The product is on the shelf. The campaign to sell this product is spent millions of dollars. There is an Autistic Barbie available. My question is, when you buy fruit roll-ups in the new mango strawberry flavor, when I'm selling it in the marketing meeting, who am I selling to? Is it moms that are going to see this commercial and are going to love it? Or is the kids going to see this new fruit roll-up flavor and they're going to want it? Because that's what I'm doing in a marketing campaign because I'm Barbie. That's done. That meeting clearly happens. So when I'm in a meeting and I go, hey, I've got an idea, bossity boss. Let's make an Autistic Barbie. And the person in the meeting goes, yeah, that sounds great. Who are we marketing it to? Because, again, we've got to put a budget together to do it. Who are we selling it to? Well, moms with autistic children. We'll market it to them. Why not kids with autism? Now, the obvious question that comes out of that is, how would I sell it to an autistic child? How? How am I marketing to them? Through television ads? How am I doing it? These are all real questions to ask because this is this toy company. So when I'm saying who's the person you're marketing it to, who's the person who's buying it, I would assume, and I think everybody can back me up on this, that the parent is going, my son is autistic or my daughter is autistic, and this is a doll that represents them, and wow, thank you, Mattel, for doing this. I'm going to buy this for my child, right? That's the obvious question, and I'm looking at this from real world. Now, Donna, she made the mistake of telling me what I shouldn't talk about, which is the biggest problem in the world that I have with us as Americans. Stop doing that. Stop telling people what they can and cannot have conversations about because they don't have this, that, or the third. I made it very clear. I am ignorant in this space, but I am looking at this like I would, like someone asking the age-old question, why is there Braille at a drive-through bank teller? It's an obvious question. Doesn't make sense to me. Not that because I know everything and not because if it doesn't make sense to me, it doesn't make sense. No, I totally express my ignorance on the subject. This doesn't make sense to me. Somebody explain it. Maybe I'm missing something. This is the opportunity for everybody to think, yeah, you're right, Reese. Don't know who their marketing is to. Let's see if we can get an answer. That's all I'm saying. Francis is in Plainville. Sorry. Hey, Francis, how are you?
Hey, Reese, I'm doing well. I'm not sure that they're marketing to buyers.
Okay.
I think they're marketing this to the media.
Yes.
Thank you. You played a news story about it. You've mentioned Barbie a lot in a fairly long segment. This is going across the country.
Right.
This could be more similar to the crazy fashion you see at the fashion shows. Milan, Paris, New York.
Great point.
The designer isn't there to sell that actual piece of clothing.
Mm-hmm.
They're there to get the media coverage.
Right. And that's that's also what I was saying. Like, was this sort of a resume builder for Mattel to say, see, look at the social involvement of the people at Mattel dealing with autism by making a toy, focused around autism?
Oh, I think it's more simple. It's Barbie, Barbie, Barbie.
Right.
Your granddaughter's birthday's coming up. all of a sudden Barbie pops in your head. I'm getting her a Barbie doll.
Boom. Exactly. Hey, just like when they made Fat Barbie. Remember that?
And then there's the mint-in-box collectors.
Yes, that's right.
And there may be some parents who want to get it for their kid, but I think this is pretty much, since it's already on the news, it was geared for the news cycle. It seems to have been.
Yeah, I agree.
This is about promoting the brand.
Thank you. And that's the reason why I broached this. I even brought it up was because I wanted to hear from you. You listen to the story. Tell me what you think about it. Because again, I'm looking at it from my lens. Not that it's, I'm omnipotent in all of this and I know what the way to look at it. It just confused me. And I think that you nailed it, to be honest, sir.
Thank you, Reese. Can I say one quick thing about your interview with Erin?
Yeah, go for it.
I think she'd make a great governor.
Okay.
She's got the administrative know-how, great mayor of New Britain.
Yep.
And Fazio would make a great lieutenant governor because he's got the connections to the legislature, and as lieutenant governor, he would preside over the Senate and be functioning, essentially, the lieutenant governor's position functions as a liaison, if you will, between the administration and the legislature.
It is
I think that would be an amazing ticket. And it would be an amazing administration.
I think you're 100%. I think you're 100% right because remember, Fazio has shown his chops because he got Pura and Eversource to release exactly what that public benefits charge was. Remember, he got that through the legislature. So you're right. He's incredibly influential there.
And I worked with I was in the legislature for one term.
Mm-hmm.
I have huge respect for him. And I have huge respect for Erin Stewart. I think they would make a great team to help turn around the state.
Indeed. Thank you, man. Much appreciated, sir.
You're welcome.
You got it. And let's go to, I'll take Ken in Meriden. There he is. How we doing, Ken?
Good. How are you, Reese?
I'm good, sir. What's up?
I heard, what was her name, Donna?
Yes, Donna. Tell him. Yes. She was talking about, she said I shouldn't talk about autism. I don't know.
I heard her say it, and she's telling you not to talk about something you don't know.
Right.
How can she talk about it if her sons don't have it and tell you that you can't talk about it?
I don't understand that either. What I was hoping that she would come out of that was maybe she would recognize, because I know something about it and I'm curious about it and I'm telling people that I know nothing about it, that it would spark a conversation so that I can be educated. Wouldn't that be the end goal when you don't know about something? Not to not talk about it so you can be educated on it.
You hit the nail on the head.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I'm sitting here listening to her, and I'm scratching my head, and, she's correct on one point. There are people who are on the spectrum, and they do know it.
Yes.
But having said that, if Mattel is, and the word is eluding me right now, if they're making the doll specifically for kids with autism, some kids who, and this is just me, I know nothing about it.
Right,
so
right.
I'm just as ignorant.
Yeah, you listen, you're looking at it from 30,000 feet, right? Not having been in the middle of it. You're just asking what the purpose of Mattel. And this is a criticism and a question to Mattel, not the autistic kids.
Right, and it's not even about the kids. It's, does a kid that age that's going to play with a doll, not so much does the kid know they have autism or that the doll is representing an autistic person, but does a kid at that age that plays with dolls, because, I remember I had G.I. Joe and a couple others. I was, 5 or 6 or whatever I was?
Yeah.
Do kids that young really understand that they're autistic?
Exactly my question.
And
it's like, wait a minute.
Even if they're on the spectrum and they're at the excuse me, at the low end of the spectrum to where they're not
I know exactly what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying. In other words, where they're very, very low on the spectrum, they would understand that this doll is for autistic children. What interest would they have in that doll in that respect?
Right, at that age.
Exactly. And again, I don't think a doll-aged child would even understand what level of autism that they have at all.
Bingo.
You know what I mean? That's not something that's in the like, you know, a 6-year-old who plays with dolls, knowing about what level or what degree or what spectrum of autism they're on, would be like asking, "Hey, kid, do you think you're a libertarian?" You know, it's like it's too advanced for that age.
Yeah, and the thing that makes you question is, you know, like you get the kids who are transgender,
right?
At that age. Is it the kid that knows they're transgender, or is it the parent that tells the kid they're transgender?
I'm snapping. It's all poetry, man. You're just spewing the poetry, man.
Well, we're there, brother. We're there.
God bless you, man. I got to take a break. Thank you so much.
All right, Reese. Take care. Have a good one.
You too. Let's take a break. We'll come back. More news, more views. The phones have lit up on this subject. Gotta love it. We'll return. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
We are back, and I always find it amazing how some of these topics really, really sort of interest you folks. Let me read what Glenn wrote. Glenn says, Reese, do you think it's possible that Mattel wants to use it for parents to buy as a learning tool for their kids so that potentially they may feel more comfortable being around other kids that do have autism? So what Glenn is saying is you would give this to a child who does not have autism so that they can understand children who do. Great question. And I don't know. I don't. And again, just trying to understand the rationale. Because again, me, as I said earlier, 30,000-foot view, looking down on this going, don't understand what's the motivation here. I'm going to have to dig a little deeper and see if there is, because I want to get to where the marketing is. But again, it doesn't, to me, just on its face, doesn't make sense. Because I feel like it rolls right into sort of like, you know, the overweight Barbie, you know. Earlier in that phone call, talking about growing up with G.I. Joes. I grew up for years with G.I. Joe. I grew up with all types of toys growing up, and all the characters were white. Never once did I have a family member walk in and said, you know why they make the Army Man white, right? You know why they made the Army Man green, right? I didn't have those kind of radicals in my life. I always harken back to that movie Boomerang with Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence, and, you know, when Martin Lawrence gives the breakdown of pool and how the game of pool is racist, how, you know, the game of pool is racist because the cue ball is white, and the final ball you have to put into the pocket is the black 8 ball, and of course the pool table is green, and that's America. I'm sorry. Every time I hear that in my head, I lose it. But there's just some people who just do that. They just do. And again, this feels like that kind of thing. That's all I'm saying. Let me go to one more call before we take a break. Nick, what's going on? Nick's in Simsbury. How are you, sir?
Hi. How are you? Thanks for taking my call.
My pleasure, sir. What do you got?
So I heard that story the other day, and it escaped me until I heard it again from you driving home from work. And the caller who said that maybe this is for kids who don't have autism,
yes,
to better understand it.
Yeah,
that may be why, because I'm sure Mattel has market research. They're doing this for a profit.
Mm-hmm.
The thought occurred to me, I could be completely wrong.
Okay.
But my understanding is that there are significantly more males than females
with autism.
Yes. And so Mattel has designed a Barbie, a female doll. Is there a Ken who is going to be autistic, or
maybe? Hold on,
you got G.I. Joe.
You're on the right road here, Nick. Yeah, you're on the right road here. Think about it. If statistically more males have autism, You make a Barbie doll that's autistic so that girls who interact with boys understand autism more. If we're going to Glenn's a thesis here or theory. You know what I mean? In essence, sort of getting girls to understand boys who may be autistic because girls may find those boys, weird or uncomfortable to be around. Anyway, I got to take a break, but a great point, a great idea nonetheless. Thank you. I appreciate the call.
Thank you, sir.
You got it. Let's go to our first check of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. How we doing, sir?
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Yeah, before we get another check of weather and traffic, let me get to Dan, who's on the line. Dan, I'm assuming you wanted to chime in on this discussion about Barbie?
Well, that and one other quick thing. I kind of think it's a nice idea. It's a good marketing campaign, definitely. They're going to sell probably millions of these dolls.
Probably so.
And it might help with some kids to maybe be a little more accepting, but I think kids are accepting anyway, unless parents poison them. Kids, they are not against anyone. They don't look at anyone really weird too often unless someone's already poisoned them, whether it's a teacher, a parent, an older
kids have an
older,
innate, you're right, kids have an innate ability to discover new things on their own.
That's it. And the other thing I wanted to just say, the shooting last week, there was a line I heard recently on a TV show that basically said, better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6.
Whew, yeah, I heard that.
Absolutely true.
Yeah.
And if the people are going to screw around, they're putting themselves in danger. I don't have any sympathy for them. It's like stay home or stay on the curb.
I made that point yesterday in my opening monologue when I said, we are just 4 months outside of the shooting of Charlie Kirk. And there couldn't be enough conversations about his rhetoric contributing some way to his own murder. Right? We had to navigate through that with people who believed that his own rhetoric was responsible for his shooting death. Yet that conversation was not allowed to be had with Renee Good.
That's correct. And that's the difference is when you're looking at the conservative versus the liberal side. A conservative gets shot. It's his own fault. He said all these things, which he never said half the things that they're claiming he did to try to justify his shooting.
That's right.
She sits there and they do all their stuff, and it's like, oh, she's a perfect angel. If you look at everything that's on the internet right now, she was the perfect angel, volunteered, had kids, this, that, and the other. Oh, yeah, the wife put cigarettes out on her kid, but, that's not a big deal. She was still a perfect angel.
Yeah, again, cognitive dissonance, as they call it. Thank you so much, Dan. I appreciate you holding on.
Have a good day.
You got it. Let's get another check of traffic and weather. Mark Christopher is here. He is in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, sir.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
We are back. Reese on the radio. Don't forget, always download the Odyssey app or go to iHeart for this show and others. Download them today. You got to be streaming if you are in the future. Odyssey, WTIC.com, or, of course, Reese on the radio.com, so you can check out the program. If you're just joining us, you may have missed that we had a conversation at the beginning of the show. Erin Stewart came by, Mayor Erin Stewart, running for governor in the great state, and we talked about a myriad of things, more so about her communications director, Rachel, and a new baby, who, again, we applaud. Congratulations, Rachel. Brand new baby. We're not going to put the name out on the air. We don't want to do that. People will be putting cable bills and light bills in his name. Oh, I know plenty of people used to do that in the hood. Erin, you know what I'm talking about. Roland said that's a triggering subject. Let me tell you this. Roland and I had a conversation a couple of days ago, right on this show. In fact, it was last week, Tuesday. We talked about this a little bit, about a grocery store that I didn't know Roland even knew about, but he loves as much as I do. And that store is called Wegmans. We got one. We have one here in Norwalk.
Yep.
Right?
I'm going this weekend.
Are you going to go?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? Damn. Only because I don't want to be a pain in the behind. I would normally ask you to tag along. If I drive down there with you, but I don't want to do that. I hate inviting myself to stuff. It's just weird. I've always had a problem with that. But I may go myself because I haven't seen that one. And everybody says it's nice.
Yeah, and I didn't realize it was so new. My boy told me, he was like, "Oh yeah, it's new. It's not."
Oh, so it's brand new, fresh.
Yeah,
I gotta go now.
That's where I'm going. I'm going on Saturday.
Okay, so that's it. That's it. It's a day trip. We just got to do it. And it's payday? No, I'm kidding. Anyway.
Is it? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it is. So you're right. I may be going maybe Sunday.
Nah, Sunday I'm going to be in Rhode Island.
Oh, okay. Oh, you got to go in the opposite direction.
Yeah, I got a tournament.
Oh, okay.
Got to get that paper.
Okay, all right. Okay. Okay.
Whatever I spend at Wegmans, I'm going to have to win it back.
Totally understood. So the reason why we even talked about Wegmans is because we found out that the corporate office in Rochester, New York, said that they are now collecting the biometrics of its customers. That when you walk in, they tell you that we're going to be collecting that data. They say that the reason why they're doing it is because there's theft and all of those other things, and more people are concerned about whether or not their information
I'm glad
is going
you brought
to be
this
sold.
back up.
Good. Well, it turns out Wegmans is not alone, and not alone in Connecticut.
Uh-oh.
According to, I think it's CT Insider. As Connecticut lawmakers look to ban facial recognition technology in retail establishments, one popular grocery chain is already using the tech across the state. CT Insider visited 8 of the 28 ShopRites across Connecticut on Thursday, from Stamford to East Haven. 7 of the stores had signs at the entrance warning customers that facial recognition technology was in use at the store. And despite no visible sign, staff at the 8th location in East Haven said the store is also collecting customers' biometric data.
Why ShopRite out of all?
I know!
ShopRite?
I know! I was like, really? Yeah,
I didn't even realize they had the budget for that.
Yeah. And so CT Insider, they have it on their website with the picture that shows it, one of the stores, telling folks when you walk in, they are collecting that data. When you walk in, I thought, and again, when I talked about the story, I said to myself that it doesn't seem like a one-off. The fact that they were doing this, Wegmans couldn't be the first place.
Yeah.
And then here is CT Insider.
Let me tell you what's crazy.
Yeah, go.
I got a group chat with my boys. There's 8 of us.
Okay.
7 plus me. I dropped that in there.
Oh, you did?
They didn't care.
No?
Not one of them cared about getting their biometrics taken. Why they said, so I'm still going to go. They got all your stuff. They follow you anyway. They got everything. They got all your information. They listen to you on your phone. So why not? It doesn't even matter to them.
People don't care about this. It's wild that they don't care about this. And you know what? Another line that I love.
I care about it.
A lot of people always say, it's like, I ain't got nothing to hide.
Yeah. So it's not about having anything to hide.
All right.
Man, they take your biometrics and put your face on somebody else, and now you set up with a crime. Then what you going to do?
Yeah, exactly. Are you going to trust the person who has access to that information
to do right by it?
Exactly.
They're not. We're human beings. But the last thing they're going to do is right by it.
You're 100% right. You can't trust everybody.
Yeah.
And I don't care how, background check those knuckleheads are. So ShopRite is doing it. And they've asked some customers about it. In fact, this one customer says, people are just here to get a few groceries to help their families, their households. They're not here to get their faces data scanned, said Precious Williams of Hamden, and said that she was shopping at the ShopRite in Orange last week. I do understand that we have thieves out there, but you can't take that for the fact that there's a few bad ones. She goes, hey, I'm going to do this for everybody. And no, she's part right in the sense of how is a store – well, I have to ask the question, how does a store know that you're going to shoplift? And this is – for them, it's easier for them to scan the store afterwards Because here's the thing.
And what about kids? Like, how does that affect you bringing your 3-year-old or 4-year-old or 5-year-old to the grocery store, holding their hand, walking in, and they're getting their facial, all their biometric scan? Like, I don't want that for my kids. And what are they going to use that for?
That is such a good point. Because some parents have to bring, because I guess
if you're a single parent,
right?
You have to bring
your kids, right? Because if you're a store, you just say, hey, listen, if you're concerned about the biometrics being taken and your children being affected by that, leave your kids home. Well, I have no babysitter. I'm on EBT. I have no child care. I got to bring my kids. You're telling me my kids are just subjected to it?
Yeah.
I think they just have to go elsewhere.
Yeah, you're going to have to find another store to go to. But then what if all the stores get it? Then you're hit.
I think, I can tell you in the next legislative session, this may be
a topic.
Yeah, without a doubt. Let me try Tanya real quick. Tanya's in Norwich. How are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm great. What's up?
So it's funny you brought this up because here in Norwich, Connecticut, the ShopRite also has that identification.
And so what do you do? Do you not go in or you just bear with it?
I wear a mask.
That's a great point. However, look, they do, it's not like they can't still scan your eyes,
Right, but you're not getting the rest of my face.
Okay. Now, I'll admit, now, did you start doing that immediately after you found out?
No, I didn't. I didn't. It took me a while to figure my life out.
God, yeah, because you're saying to yourself, what do I do? And you were like, hey, remember COVID?
Exactly. And both me and my husband are former military, so we're in the security mine. We were in Germany for 20 years, and then we came back here, and we've been here about 11 years, and things are different.
Do you think that this is too intrusive?
I think it is. And it doesn't matter. I mean, I can see on a military or a federal installation, yes.
Yeah.
But Joe Schmo, the snuffy, going for Pampers and milk, no, that's invasive.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you this, and this is so true, that when I was growing up, I always wanted to be famous, right, to some degree. I wanted to be in Hollywood. I wanted to be an actor when I was a kid. I watched Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous a lot as a kid, maybe way too much. But anyway, with that being said, growing up, you know what I could never understand as a kid? People who just wanted to go to work, take care of their family, and live a quiet and peaceful life. And when I used to talk to my friends or my family members and stuff like that, it was like, nah, I'm not into all of that. No cameras. I don't want to be filmed. I remember I had a grandfather who didn't like to take pictures. He goes, I don't like that stuff. He didn't like to be filmed. And I always found that weird. But as I got older, I understand it. Living an anonymous life, sort of you avoid yourself of all of that other mayhem. You're not a part of all of that stuff. You don't film yourself. You're not a part of social media. You have no interest in that, in trying to be noticed or or a celebrity or quasi in any degree.
Right.
To this extent, this now makes you a part of something you do not want. This is your picture being taken, growing into a grocery store. Your anonymity is, it's almost eliminated if you think about it.
Exactly.
And
AI takes over. I guess it was your colleague there. He had said about taking your face and putting it on somebody else's face.
Right.
That's probably possible.
You know what I'm going to tell you to do? This is actually pretty funny, Tanya. Try this video. You might. I don't know if you're on social media that much, but there's a great comic sort of like prank show. It's very much like Candid Camera, but I think it takes place in Spain or somewhere in Europe. And here's the whole bit and why it's so crazy. So the bit is the guy's walking down the street, just, going on his business, and an actor walks up and asks him a question like, hey, do you know directions to, the synagogue or whatever the case may be? So the guy stops and naturally gives him directions, and he does. While he's giving him directions, a guy comes up behind him with a green screen placard. He doesn't see it. And then a person off in the distance takes a picture of him. While that's happening, they instantaneously take the guy's picture and superimpose it on a guy committing a crime.
See?
And hold on. And then a police officer walks up with said picture and says, hey, isn't this you? And the guy's looking at it, knowing that he just took the picture and saying, yeah, that is me. So it's a whole prank in the sense of the guy is seeing it is going, like, the person that he's with is a wanted criminal that now he's been photographed with as an associate committing a crime, and he's going, no, that's not me. He's freaking out. But that brings right to Roland's point. It's like your information is out there. All you need is one guy in there going, hey, isn't that the guy who razzed me in high school? You know?
Exactly. Oh, my goodness, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to check it out.
Yeah, you have to see it. It's an amazing video. Everyone who can listen to my voices on social media knows it. It comes up on my feed all the time, and I watch them. And they're usually done in places like Spain and Portugal on this sort of hidden candid camera-like show. But it is, I'll admit, it's inventive that they can get the photograph that fast. And, it's a quick prank, but it's funny. But at the same time, it's kind of dangerous.
It is.
And that's wild.
Somebody like my husband might punch you for that.
Exactly. Get the wrong guy. But you know what? You do break. I will give you this, Tanya. A lot of people right now are saying to themselves, I'm going to have to start wearing a mask at ShopRite. I'll tell you that. I think that's what's going to happen.
Do it.
Yeah.
Or wear sunglasses as well.
Walking in there looking like the invisible man.
Or singing Corey Hart, I wear my sunglasses at night.
Yeah, no doubt. Thank you, Tanya. I appreciate the call.
Have a good day.
Thank you. You too. Yeah, man, this is insanity. I am like one of your friends, though, Roland, the guy who said, screw it, what do I got to hide? They're taking pictures of everything. But I'm still, again, it's all you have to do is get one guy, man. One guy with one person in the wrong hands, an ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, well, think about this. First of all, the scammers and hackers, that's going to open up a whole new world of scamming and hacking. A whole new world. They're going to be able to hack into people's biometrics. Mm-hmm. Oh, man, talk about craziness.
You know what? I'll tell you this. I saw this story online the other day. This guy said he was riding on the bus because his car had broken down, and he saw this kid who was sitting behind him on the bus. He recognizes another kid. Kid walks up to him, and he says, hey, how'd your weekend go? And the guy goes, oh, man, my weekend was crazy. He goes on to tell this story. He says, remember that girl I was dating for about 4 months? And he goes, yeah. He goes, what happened? He goes, yeah, we broke up. I broke up with her. He goes, yeah, but it's been a mess ever since. He goes, what happened? He goes, well, after the 4 months, she called, my credit card companies, and she got my credit cards canceled. Then my mom got me a car so that I could drive because I couldn't pay the payments on my car or some crap. And they bought him a beat-up car so he can drive to school. Oh, because she got him kicked out of his apartment, which he had to go back and live with his parents. So they got him a car so he can go to school. He got in a car. She had poured cement into his gas tank.
Oh,
right?
My goodness.
Shut down his car, completely destroyed that. His credit cards were completely said that there was fraud on them. Completely cut off all of his credit, so he couldn't get, no credit cards. He couldn't use any of that. And he was going through this entire nightmare. Everything he was trying to do, this girl had sort of gotten or infiltrated every facet of his life to the point where he had to take the bus to school every day. He could have no credit cards, no debit cards, no nothing. He was living at home. He couldn't drive his car. He just couldn't do anything. And the guy says, damn, what are you going to do now? And he says, I'm going to see her on Friday.
You got to make that work. You got to get your life back, man.
I'm going, damn.
You got to get your life back. Whatever she says goes.
And in my head, I'm going, like, I immediately identified with him. Like, in that instant, I went, that was my days when I dated the crazy girls. That girl I would have fallen in love with. I'm like,
y'all are absolutely bananas.
I was like, I saw that. As soon as I heard that story, I just went, yeah, my wife looked at me. She says, you'd have married her. I said, she'd have been my third. She'd have been my third wife, without a doubt. Indeed. Let's take another check of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher, he's not into crazy. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
I avoid the drama at all costs. There's no question about that.
Stay locked in. Reese on the radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
That has got to be the funniest thing I just read. Booth says that everyone needs to go to a supermarket in Antifa mode. Becomes a ShopRite biometric scan. Also, how easy, Bushwhacker says, how easy would it be to hack grocery stores' computers for the biometrics compared to credit card info? Yeah, exactly. We've seen this sort of hack, if you will, being done easily in so many cases. We had the Target hack. There was another one that was a popular credit card hack back in the days. It's incredible the amount of information these folks can get, and it's always Russian. It always is. Let's go to Doug in East Hampton real quick. How are you, Doug?
Good, thanks, Reese. How are you this afternoon?
I'm all right, sir. What do you got?
Hey, I just wanted to tell you, I'm a pretty deep-thinking guy, and I'm interested in everything, and your show fascinates me every single day.
I hope that's in a good way.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
You wouldn't believe how many rabbit holes I go down based on the stuff I hear on your show.
Thank you.
Anyway, just two very quick things. If Roland is willing to share, he mentioned he was going to be in Rhode Island for some kind of a competition this weekend, and I was just curious as to what for. For his children or for himself or what it might be. If he's private.
That's okay. I'll dump you. Yes. See, he is fascinated by everything. Yes, that's what he does. He is a tournament bowler, and he goes to competitions all over the East Coast.
No kidding. That's amazing because I am the same.
Oh, are you?
Yes, sir.
It's funny. This audience is everywhere. They go from bicycle riding to I think I almost talked to a bull rider, I think, once. But, yeah, this is not a thing you folks don't do out here in the Nutmeg State.
I know Roland has talked about bowling before. I've heard it, but I just had no idea to what his ability was or to what extent he pursued it.
Are you semi-pro, Roland? Is it considered? Okay, Roland is semi-pro.
That's exactly what I would consider myself.
Okay.
And the unusual thing about bowling is that in bowling, you can be an amateur and win money.
That's right. Exactly. So, yes, but he is competitive, and he's actually really, really good. I mean, by my standards. I mean, the guy brags about bowling a 300 now and again, but he's actually really, really good.
That's awesome. I hope I run into him someday because I bowl as much as I can, as many tournaments as I can, and I'm retired, so I'm getting around a lot. I used to bowl all around New England, New York, New Jersey when I was younger, and I've made a fair semi-living out of it.
I think we're gonna make an event out of it very, very soon. We have to make a show event to go bowling very, very soon. Anyway, you had another point. What was the other one?
The other question was I was interested about the biometrics at ShopRite.
ShopRite, yes. Well, apparently, I think what the objective is they say it's in the entryway or the entrance of the store. I think it's a little in depth than that. I'm almost certain that this is happening in the store writ large. As far as biometrics, like all of the cameras that are in it, because I'm assuming that there are cameras everywhere for reasons like theft, that every one of those cameras is grabbing your biometrics when you're in there.
And to me, biometrics is a very wide category. It's not just your face; it's your weight. You
know what? You have a great. That's a great question because as I missed in this story, because when we first introduced the story last week Tuesday, the Wegman story suggested the biometrics they were gathering were not just your face, but they were also getting, try this, your voice.
Yep.
Yeah, so they're getting everything.
And I can understand that. And I even went a little deeper with the biometrics, thinking of, crazy stuff to everybody but me.
Yeah,
but,
I got to get to
weight.
I got to get to traffic though, real quick. I appreciate you, buddy. Let me get the BPS. You got it. Here's the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. BPS Lawyers Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Hey, Mark.
The NAACP calls him, whoa, I don't think I'm allowed to read this.
It's Reese on the radio.
Let's just say some people are not fans.
On News Talk 1080.
WTIC.
We're back. Reese on the radio right here on News Talk 1080 WTIC. Now, folks, I promised you that this was going to happen, that we were going to respond to the events in the news in so many different ways, and we were going to make it fun and entertaining for you. We can talk about the news. We'll get to the bottom of it. We'll show up at the news. And as the news is happening, we are going to respond. Not just sit here and complain. No, we have an active campaign to actually change hearts and minds. And one of the ways to do that is through song. But before we get there, let me explain what prompted where we are today. So as you know, last week, myself, Roseanne, Adam 12, Sam the Man on the Street, went down to the protest. They called it a vigil, but it was a protest at the ICE facility in Hartford, 450 Main. And in the back, got a little hairy. The mayor of Hartford said that there was an alleged hit and run, which we have footage of. We know now that it's in his hands. There was no hit and run. There was an assault, but it definitely wasn't of a protester. But I started thinking about that. They're saying it was a hit and run. In fact, that's kind of been the theme that everyone's been talking about, even with the Nicole Good situation. And as you're seeing in places all across the country, from sea to shining sea, these protesters are out there, predominantly liberal women, are out there putting their bodies on the line to fight these ICE agents, to tell these ICE agents that they don't belong. Some of them are getting downright racist, like this man shouting at a black ICE agent.
What the fuck is wrong with you? How do you fucking sleep at night, you Nazi piece of shit? How can you, as a black man, turn on the people like this?
Easy. Easy. As a black man, it's easy. So, as the old show Living Color used to do, wrote a song about it. Like to hear it? Here it go. Rolling.
Up slow, black SUV, clipboard crew, DHSID. Lady in leggings, filming my plate, screaming, this is my block at the gate. Chill. You in the lane, phone in your face, arguing laws, you just Googled today. We got a warrant and work to get done. You got a latte and yoga at 1. Ma'am, step back, 3 times said it. You quote a blog like the state senate. Blocking the driveway, stroller red shield. Whole revolution in the Whole Foods field. You beat the hood like a snare drum, wow. Think of the children. While live on your dial. We tryna move, you tryna trend. Man, pick a lane. This where it ends. If you're attacking my car, I got that hit and run. Leave me with permanent scars. I got hit and run. You try and push me too far. I got a hit and run. No, I don't care who you are. I got a hit and run. Short haircut, big minivan. I pay your salary. There she stands. Lean on the bumper, blocking the path. Cursing us out while she's filming a rap. ICE is illegal. That's not a thing. Mascara smearing, patriotic ring. Friends in the comments cheering you on. But we got cuffs and a job to be done. You hit the hood with your protest sign. We hit the gas, stay inside the line. You fake a limp, then hop and sprint when the tire rolls close to your tiny dent. Help! I've been crushed on the asphalt clean. Laying more drama than a daytime scene. We log reports, we're gone by noon. You're still arguing with a park platoon. Still, if you're attacking my car, I got a hit and run. Leave me with permanent scar, I got a hit and run. You try and push me too far, I got a hit and run. No, I don't care who you are, I got a hit and run. Step to the side, ma'am, step to the side. Laws in the folder, not in your life. Traffic backed up, folks losing time. You chasing clout, we clocked on the dime. Step to the curb, ma'am, step to the curb. You in the street yelling all of those words. Bang on the glass, you're forcing my hand. Hit and run rhythm when the wheels expand. Yeah, yeah. If you're attacking my car, I gotta hit and run. Leave me with permanent scars. I gotta hit and run. You try and push me too far, I gotta hit and run. No, I don't care who you are, I gotta hit and run. If you're attacking my car, I gotta hit and run. Leave me with permanent scars. I gotta hit and run. You try and push me too far, I gotta hit and run. No, I don't care who you are, I gotta hit and run.
That's right. It's got a theme song now. Which I warned you was going to happen. That's going to be a regular thing here on Reese on the Radio. There's going to be a theme song for it all. When you hear all of them go nuts and lose their mind, Reese on the Radio will mock them. And you'll be able to, too. We'll post it on Facebook. We'll put it also on YouTube and Instagram as well, so you can share it with all your friends. That's right. Reese on the Radio, Records and Tapes. That's what it's called. From Reese on the Radio, Records and Tapes, Hit and Run. That's exactly what it is. So stay tuned. Later on in the show, you'll be able to grab that. We'll also play it later on in the week as well. Can you believe this guy? This guy was shouting at a black ICE agent.
What the fuck is wrong with you? How do you fucking sleep at night, you Nazi piece of shit? How can you, as a black man, turn on the people like this? What the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with every one of you Nazi fucking pieces of shit?
Yeah. How can you, as a black... It's incredible. These people dealing with liberals is, for me, has always been funny how they show their true racism and stupidity. And I thought about it, and there was this clip from the TV show It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And there was this scene, which I love. You're going to love this one too, Roland, because... wait till you hear it.
Do you remember years ago there was a storm in New Orleans?
Hurricane Katrina?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember it.
Okay, Check this out. What do you think those people are doing, surviving or looting?
They're surviving.
Okay. Do you remember a man named Rodney King?
Yes, of course.
Okay, the LAPD worked him over really good.
Yes.
Okay. This was taken during the Rodney King riots. What do you think these people are doing, looting or surviving?
Well, they're looting.
Of course. Well, it's the media, see? When it's white people, it's survival, and when it's black people, it's looting.
No, Frank, it's because the white people are stealing bread, and the black people are stealing speakers. If the white people were stealing stereo equipment, I would say they were looting too.
How do you know the blacks don't have bread in those speakers?
What are you talking about?
Oh, okay.
What are we talking about? I know there are big things to do.
It's funny. It's comedy. I get it. But, as they always say, there's a little bit of truth in jest, right? It's like there's a little bit of truth in that, which is exactly what
they got bread in those speakers, all right. It's called cocaine. And they turn it into dollars.
I just thought that was incredible and a lot of fun watching that show. That show was absolutely hilarious. Let me see. What the heck is this? Oh, this is okay. That's somebody else commenting. All right, when we come back, I've got to talk about this immigration thing and go back in history. There is a video now that has gone viral that went all the way back to 2014, and interestingly enough, it is a video of a speech given by an Illinois senator or congressman. I'm almost certain it's a congressman, by the name of Luis Gutierrez. This is important. And he gave a speech about deportations. And you have to hear it to believe it. Now, why am I going to play this? Because, as I told you, and I don't say it to brag, I say it because it's a matter of fact. Liberals listen to this show. And you have no idea, because I don't brag about it. I don't, it's not some sort of thing I put on as a lapel on my shirt. You have no idea how many of them have to stop in their tracks and go, yeah, this embarrasses me. And they kind of retreat from this constant ideology of being always on the side of the left. They get embarrassed. And guess what? And look, if you think I'm kidding, you heard it yesterday. Leroy and Frank were two examples of what I'm talking about. Guys who openly say when they come on the show that they don't agree with me, and then you hear them more and more today agreeing with me. There are a lot of people who are on the left who listen to this show. And what I'm about to play in the next hour, the next break, is another sort of little nick into that armor of their orthodoxy. Because a lot of people don't even look this up, but Barack Obama not only tried this on Friday, he didn't just deport more people. What Barack Obama's Department of Homeland Security did to execute removals in the country is well documented, far more egregious than you've seen ICE do. And I've got an example just going to blow your mind. Blow your mind. And you may have seen it. Some of you who are real internet savvy have probably seen it already. But when you hear this exchange, you're going to be like, what? Yes. And you'll be able to look it up yourself. So we'll get into that. Stand by. And let me see. What time is it? Okay. You know what, Roland? Do you mind? Let's play it one more time for the for the people just getting in the car. New from Reese on the Radio, Records and Tapes. Our new hit single, Hit and Run. If you're ready.
Pull up slow, black SUV, clipboard crew, DHS ID. Lady in leggings, filming my plate, screaming, this is my block at the gate. Chill. You in the lane, phone in your face, arguing laws, you just Google today. We got a warrant and work to get done. You got a latte and yoga at 1. Ma'am, step back, 3 times said it. You quote a blog like the state senate. Blocking the driveway, stroller red shield. Whole revolution in the Whole Foods field. You beat the hood like a snare drum, wow. Think of the children. While live on your dial. We tryna move, you tryna trend. Man, pick a lane, this where it ends. If you're attacking my car, I got that hit and run. Leave me with permanent scars, I got hit and run. You try and push me too far, I got a hit and run. No, I don't care who you are, I got a hit and run. Short haircut, big minivan. I pay your salary. There she stands, lean on the bumper, blocking the path, cursing us out while she's filming a rap. ICE is illegal. That's not a thing. Mascara smearing, patriotic ring. Friends in the comments cheering you on. But we got cuffs and a job to be done. You hit the hood with your protest sign. We hit the gas, stay inside the line. You fake a limp, then hop and sprint when the tire rolls close to your tiny dent. Help! I've been crushed on the asphalt clean. Laying more drama than a daytime scene. We log reports, we're gone by noon. You're still arguing with a park platoon. Still, if you're attacking my car, I got a hit and run. Leave me with permanent scar, I got a hit and run. You try and push me too far, I got a hit and run. No, I don't care who you are, I got a hit and run. Step to the side, ma'am, step to the side. Laws in the folder, not in your life. Traffic backed up, folks losing time. You chasing clout, we clocked on the dime. Step to the curb, ma'am, step to the curb. You in the street yelling all of those words. Bang on the glass, you're forcing my hand. Hit and run rhythm when the wheels expand. Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you're attacking my car, I got a hit and run. Leave me with permanent scars, I got a hit and run. You try and push me too far, I got a hit and run. No, I don't care who you are, I got a hit and run. If you're attacking my car, I got a hit and run. Leave me with permanent scars, I got a hit and run. You try and push me too far, I got a hit and run. No,
that's it from Reese on the Radio, Records and Tapes. Hit and Run. Available on YouTube.
You know
soon.
That's very similar to Alexander Hamilton, right?
Yes. What, Reese on the Radio, Records and Tapes?
No, that song.
Oh, Hit and Run?
No, the way the song is produced and the effects and the transitions.
Oh, yeah.
And the arrangement. and talking about politics is very Alexander Hamilton.
Oh, you mean you're talking about the TV, the Disney, Broadway show.
The Disney, the Disney movie.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, it was done. Is this Webby? No, it's not Webby. Sounds like him, though, doesn't it? We'll take a break. We'll come back. Let's get to Mark Christopher. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center.
I'll tell you what, that's a hit record you got there.
Isn't it?
I think you do. I think you got a hit record there, Reese.
Thank you, sir.
I really do. I mean, that was good.
Thank you.
Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound side of I-91, you've got delays 33 down to 32A and B. You better get a hold of Sal Haney and get this off to the record company. This is one of those hit songs at you're right at the right moment. This would be the time to get that out and release it.
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
And of course, I totally forgot. I have to do music this portion, and I forgot that I didn't have music news. But I guess technically we did have music news because we got a new song. Anyway, but I realized that I did all of the music news that I was supposed to save. I did it all yesterday because we had the time, and that was the Mariah Carey story that she's going to be headlining the Winter Olympics this year. And I guess she was going to do the opening ceremony, which I have no idea how she got that gig. To answer the question in the chat room, Craig in the car says, where is the link to the song? It was actually good, and that's coming from a certified headbanger. Thank you. And I do appreciate that. I am going to upload it today, immediately after the show. So you will have it without a doubt. So, just give me a little bit of time. I was supposed to put it up yesterday. For some odd reason, I got sidetracked, as it were, as I always do get sidetracked. With that being said, don't forget Friday. I don't know why I didn't mention it. Friday, we are going to be live at the Between Rounds in Vernon on Hartford Turnpike. That's going to happen at 2 o'clock. Our show will be broadcasting there live. Roseanne on the radio will be there with me. We'll be talking to you, hanging out with you. So make sure you get there and enjoy the show with us. There is also a part of what we're doing is the Connecticut Food Share will be there, and they're going to have a half-off promotion for you to purchase a dozen bagels a month for 6 months. You'll be able to purchase a coupon for half off a dozen bagels a month for 3 months. And it's not 6, but 3 months. So make sure you come down and you could participate in that as well. Connecticut Food Share is going to be there. We'll talk to them. Also, we are going to be talking to, and if I screwed up this guy's last name, please forgive me. His name is Ken Krajewski. I'm hoping I'm doing it right. Ken Krajewski. He is going to be my guest on the show as well on Friday because they are closing the Trump store in Vernon that opened up this summer. And I don't know why he's closing it down, but he's going to be there. We're going to actually go down on a weekend and actually celebrate with him. Let's get another check of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher, he is in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Have you been down to this store at all? Or have you haven't seen it? That's probably nowhere near you.
In Between Rounds?
No, the Trump store that's closing down. It was opened up in August.
Oh, with all the Trump memorabilia? No, that's in what, Vernon?
Yeah.
Don't get out that way that much. It's not that far. I mean, it's 15 minutes from where I live. But
what are you, north of there or are you east
I'm
of
south.
there?
I'm in Wethersfield.
Oh, that's right, Wethersfield. That's right. Okay, that makes sense. Why did I think that you were... I don't know where anybody is. Not like they give me their address. No one's invited me to dinner, if that's what you know.
Well, I'll have to do that. We'll have to get that together.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, all right.
I want to see the studio, my friend.
Oh, the big the big studio down here.
I just want to take pictures of it and then sell the photos online.
Sell the photo. Okay. I don't know how much you're going to really make off them, but yeah, no problem.
People will
there.
buy anything. You got socks?
So?
Listen, I can sell Mark Christopher socks on eBay.
Really?
Come on, man. There's a lot of freaky people out here. Did you hear the story I did yesterday about Pika with the woman who eats paper?
It's Reese on the radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Yes, we are back. We'll take your phone calls in a second, so stand by for that. With this conversation about ICE, I looked this up yesterday going on Grok, which I really do enjoy. I really do. And people have tried it out. A lot of people don't talk about it all that much, but Grok is actually really, really good. And you can call out Grok's BS because you can't do it with Google. And people never understood how Google sort of worked. And you try to explain it to people. You have all these people like, yeah, do a Google search on it. Do your research. Google it. And I tried to explain to a lot of people that Google has an agenda. And so Grok it's perfect because in a lot of ways you get to challenge it. Especially when you know. It's like Grok isn't the end-all, be-all. So you can go back and forth with Grok to eventually Grok sort of recognizes that it's being biased. And sometimes Grok will even inject its own sort of opinion. And you will, if you're, know how to do this, you will tell Grok, not enough with the posturing. I don't need your input. Just give me straight facts. No chaser, no BS. I type in all the time. I actually type in the word, no bull, give me the facts. And Grok will say, okay, no, here's where the facts are. And I appreciate that. Brilliantly done by the folks over at Grok. So in doing this research, I just asked the simple question, what happened? What turned? Because I know that Barack Obama was known as the deporter-in-chief. And it wasn't like he was celebrated for it, especially people in the Hispanic community. Jorge Ramos famously went after Barack Obama, asking him, a promise is a promise. A promise is a promise, and you did not keep your promise. He said to him, it's a famous line about Barack Obama and DACA kids. And he never did. That being said, people talk about this immigration thing with Donald Trump like it's unheard of that he's doing the things that he's doing. When I know, because I paid close attention to it, the Obama administration was worse. But let me give you the first example. As I mentioned, 2014, Luis Gutierrez, Senate floor, gave a quiz talking about the last three presidents, from recent to the past, Barack Obama, George W. Bush, and William Jefferson Clinton, as it pertained to deportations.
Here we have the last three presidents of the United States, Bill Clinton, George Bush, and Barack Obama. Mr. Speaker, let's test our knowledge of how much or how little they have enforced the immigration laws of the United States during their term. Question 1, which president deported a population slightly larger than the population of the entire state of Nebraska? With almost 2 million deported so far, Barack Obama has deported more people than live in the entire state of Nebraska. No one has deported more people. A star, first place, goes to Barack Obama. Question 2, who expanded immigration enforcement by local enforcement 100-fold? One of these presidents expanded the Secure Communities program for deporting immigrants who are booked into local jails from 31 jurisdictions in this nation to over 3,000. And who was that? Yes, President Barack Obama, another dubious star. Question number 3, let's go to boots on the ground, where the immigration issue seems to begin and end for many Republicans. Who spent more money on immigration enforcement than all other federal law enforcement combined? Well, if you guessed Barack Obama, you'd be right. Yes, the $18 billion he spends is $3.5 billion more every year than we spend on the FBI, ATF, DEA, Secret Service, all of them combined. in order to achieve what? Unprecedented deportations. Another star. Question 4, what crimes are the most prosecuted crimes in federal court? You think kidnapping, murder, counterfeiting, political corruption? No. Under Barack Obama, the number one crime prosecuted as a misdemeanor is being illegally in this country, and the number one crime prosecuted as a felony in federal courts is what? Illegal re-entry to the United States. Another star. Finally, for question 5, we get to detention. Which of these presidents put more than 420,000 people in detention in just one single year of his presidency? Yes, arrested and put them in jail. President Barack Obama has detained more immigrants in jails, prisons, and detention facilities than any other president of the United States of America. That's 5 for 5. And it goes to the Deporter-in-Chief, Barack Obama.
Now, that wouldn't be so bad, folks. Aside from the fact it shows the complete hypocrisy of the left. Donald Trump becomes president after 2016. Joe Biden comes in, opens up the border, just says everybody's coming in. And guess what? The Democrat Party goes right with them. Now, they openly admit now it was a bad idea, but they were all on board. They admit it was a bad idea because, of course, it lost them the election in 2024. But it did not negate the fact that that was the plan all along, which is, again, their objective was to always stop deportations under the Trump administration, which is where we are now. But that being considered, I want you to listen to this. There used to be a guy who was the press secretary. Guy's name was Josh Earnest, I think. And he was at the podium one day, and a reporter asked Josh about an LA Times article about a woman who was at home at night. And she was met at the door, well, let's just say she was met in her home by ICE agents. Listen closely to this exchange with the reporter and the press secretary under Barack Obama.
There have been reports that the Department of Homeland Security and ICE have begun removal operations, I think what they're calling it, others are calling it raids, against Central American families who came across the border illegally over the past year and a half. And some of the reports suggest that, families, the Los Angeles Times quoted a woman saying that her family in Georgia, ICE agents came in, looked room to room, woke up her own kids, they were shaking with fear. Wondering if the administration can confirm that those operations have begun and whether the White House has had input directly with DHS about how those operations should be handled. And whether.
Now, did you hear that? The reporter said a story in the LA Times reports of a woman in Georgia whose family was woken up because ICE went into her apartment or home and went room to room to remove illegals. What story have you heard like this, folks? You heard this story anywhere? Anybody? Anybody report a story about that? ICE is in the home while people are sleeping. Hey, get up. Get up. Consuela. Yeah. ICE here. Go. Everybody get up. How many people in the house? How many people in the house? That's like a scene from Lethal Weapon. ICE agents were coming through the house, busting the door while the family was sleeping? Going room to room, grabbing kids? Dude, come on. Are you kidding me? That's not even the crazy part. First of all, there was no outrage. No outrage. You want to know why there was no outrage? Of course, because it was Barack Obama. But check this out, folks. This gets better. This happened in public in front of everybody. Listen.
There are any concerns about striking fear into the communities, including those who may be here legally, living with some of these other folks as these are carried out.
Mm-hmm. David, for individual operations, I'd refer you to the Department of Homeland Security, and they can discuss with you individual operations that were carried out. What I can tell you is that the Department of Homeland Security has prioritized the cases of recent arrivals, individuals who recently crossed the border into the United States without proper documentation. And those, again, based on public statements, including a statement that was recently issued by the Secretary of Homeland Security, were the nature of the operations that were carried out over the last several days. This is consistent with the kinds of priorities that the president himself has talked about.
Did you hear that? This is consistent with the president and the message that he put out, that they're going to be going into homes. Did you hear Josh Earnest deny the reports from the LA Times about the woman in Georgia? Did you hear that? No, that's emphatically untrue? No? Categorically false? No. President made clear just how he's going to get it done. Hey, Consuela. Yeah. Get up. How many kids in the house? No, get your stuff. You're going down to Guantanamo Bay. What? You folks said nothing. You had no problem until you found out. Reese, they could be used as slave labor, back then, there were no illegals that were cleaning our hotel rooms or our toilets back in, the time of Obama. Illegals weren't a large part of construction, building our homes back in the Obama years. That's ancient history. They weren't picking the vegetables in all of our farms back in 2014. That's a new phenomenon. You know what I mean? Now they do all of those things. And, we just got to have them. They didn't care. They didn't give a blip. And this guy was doing it 10 times the amount of what Donald Trump's doing. 10 times the amount. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, people just acted like, it's crazy. Listen more. Here's more. Josh Earnest and the reporter.
Talked at all about with the Department of Homeland Security about sort of the way these operations are conducted and the tone that they're taking with, in the way that they look for the immigrants and round them up.
Well, obviously, in terms of setting policy, the White House and the Department of Homeland Security have had discussions about some of these matters, but ultimately, when it comes to enforcement issues, those are decisions that are made by law enforcement professionals.
Yeah, we got nothing to do with the Obama administration. We will leave it to the Department of Homeland Security. However they decide to deal with it, they'll deal with it, Josh Earnest said. And nobody said, but isn't this on the back of Barack Obama? The buck stops with him. No, not according to Earnest. No. That's the Department of Homeland Security. We give them a directive, go get the illegals, and however they decide to do that, that's on them. I refer to you them. What's being said now? Oh, it's Donald Trump. You would think the man was taking the limo and driving down to Detroit and putting those folks in a van. You would think Donald Trump is going out there grabbing out. Yes, Consuela, yes, get up. Yes, it's me, it's Donald. No, yeah, we come to get the kids. You would think. A guy that was doing it, again, tenfold. You guys don't, please don't bore me with it was a different time then. I know what the kids do. You guys think that 2 years ago was back in the day. Spare me that nonsense. It's 10, 12 years at best. That's what that guy did his entire administration. He slowed it down in 2016, but he was still doing record numbers. Still more than when Donald Trump has done this year alone. Still more. And then Joe Biden comes along. And that's the thing. You guys are protecting a denunce policies that, in essence, if you really think about it, he had nothing to do with. So he wasn't even in charge of the idea of opening up the border and letting all these folks in. And yet you're protecting it. Hypocrites. All of you. Let's get another check of traffic and weather. Mark Christopher's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're 84 eastbound, delays a half mile before 46th Avenue down to the Bothie. Westbound 84 is running slow, approaching the Bothie Bridge out to 46th Avenue. Southbound 91's a little tight, 33 down to 32A and B. 291 through 84, okay, it's the river. 2 westbound, just a little slow as you merge with 84 West in East Hartford. Both sides of 9 slowing, approaching the Aragoni Bridge in Middletown. Westbound side of 84 in Waterbury slowing, approaching 23 up to between 17 and 16. An accident reported there on the Middlebury-Southbury line, so look out for those delays. If you are heading down in toward New Haven, good ride 91 in the Parkway. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Partly cloudy the rest of today, high 46. Considerable cloudiness today with a little rain developing late at night, low 35. Tomorrow and tomorrow night, cloudy with intermittent rain and drizzle. High tomorrow, 45. Could see a little wet snow mixed with the rain toward daybreak Thursday, low tomorrow night about 32. Cloudy and colder on Thursday with a gusty breeze. Some snow and rain at times in the morning, followed by a snow shower in the afternoon, high 38. Feeling colder with the wind. And much colder Thursday night, low down to 13. Breezy cold weather on Friday, partly sunny, high 29, and partly cloudy Friday night with a low of 23. Heading into the weekend, a break in the cold temporarily on Saturday. Sunshine and a few clouds, high 42, becoming cloudy Saturday night with a low of 28. Sunday, cloudy and colder, high 36, and partly cloudy colder weather Sunday night with a low of 19. Dry and cold weather is then expected on Monday. I'm Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Follow WTIC News Talk 1080. Don't miss out on important updates in Connecticut from breaking need-to-know news, weather alerts, and more. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app now. And now, a WTIC News Update.
It's 5:30, Hartford temperature, 38 degrees. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Michelle Troconis was back in a courtroom in Rockville Superior Court today trying to secure a new trial. She was convicted on murder, conspiracy, and other charges 2 years ago and sentenced to 20 years in prison. Troconis has argued, though, her first attorney in the case was ineffective in advising her to talk to police. The attorney at question, Andrew Bowman, said he got wind that Troconis could be charged with accessory if she didn't. The judge in this current proceeding has 120 days to render a decision as to whether she will get that new trial. New Haven Police Commission meets tonight. It'll be the first time since the resignation and retirement of Carl Jacobson as chief of police. He stepped down last week after admitting to stealing money from a fund used to pay police informants. Meeting tonight gets underway at 6. A teacher in New Haven is under arrest, facing charges after police say he exchanged inappropriate texts with a student. Thomas Fargeorge is charged. Parent reported the 42-year-old math teacher to the school system. Police say nothing physical or sexual took place between the teacher and the 13-year-old student, but the texts were not in the realm of a teacher-student relationship. Anti-ICE protesters gathered outside the state capitol this afternoon, rally coming nearly a week after the death of Renee Good by ICE in Minneapolis. That protest outside the federal building in Hartford last week brought out hundreds. A couple of vehicles drove into the crowd, hitting one person at least, and pepper spray was also discharged. Human rights watchers say thousands have died in anti-government protests in Iran. President Trump in Detroit said he's monitoring the situation and that help is on the way, although did not elaborate. And the state's severe cold weather protocol goes into effect on Thursday. Governor Lamont's activating the protocol because lows that night are expected to dive into the mid-teens with wind chills at or below zero. Those in need of information on shelters, warming centers, transportation, and more can call 211 or visit 211ct.org. On Wall Street, it was a down day all around for the markets. The Dow gave back 398 points. The Nasdaq was down 24, and the S&P lost 13. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
I wish I'd gotten treated for my erectile dysfunction sooner. Men, I hear this all the time from our patients. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. And if ED is a problem in your life, resolve to get it treated today. And stop having it affect you and the one you love. ED is simply a medical condition. It's fully treatable. And at Northeast Men's Health, we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most guys, your ED will be a thing of the past. In fact, you could be having great sex within a day or two of your first appointment, and you'll also likely find you're performing like you haven't in a long time. It's the new year. Resolve to get your ED treated and change your life. Call us at Northeast Men's Health. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promedic restorative health practice.
Running a small business is a daily balancing act. One late shipment, one price hike, one employee issue, and your whole month, maybe the entire year, could be in trouble. That's where LendSeek comes in.
I needed $100,000 fast to keep up with inventory demands. LendSeek had me funded the same day I applied. Between their AI platform finding the fastest deal and a dedicated funding specialist guiding the process, it couldn't have been easier.
Our AI-driven platform matches your business with the right program from over 100 funders, up to $2 million in as fast as 24 hours. Don't wait until it's too late. If you've been in business at least 2 years with more than $500,000 in annual revenue, qualifying is simple. No collateral, no out-of-pocket costs, no hassle. From lines of credit, term loans to revenue-based financing, LendSeek is open for business. Apply in minutes at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app, search WTIC News Talk 1080, and tap earlier today to get started.
Across the border illegally over the past year and a half. And some of the
Yeah, sorry about that. Anyway, I forgot to drop that off. Anyway, we'll get to the phone calls in a second, and we'll wrap up the show. Tomorrow's program, I don't have anybody scheduled for this week other than, well, I was supposed to have Betsy McCoy in. She was supposed to be in today, but she had to reschedule, unfortunately. So she might be back. If not later on this week, it could be next week. She'll be on. I'm not expecting anybody else. Maybe Ryan Fazio might be in another week. I do have some other stuff that's scheduled on the program. Don't forget, you can always go to the Odyssey app or, of course, iHeart to check out the show after the show in the event that you miss it. I know a lot of you listen at 2. I know a lot of you listen at 4 and 5. The 3 o'clock hour is give or take. But if you'd like to, please stream the show. It's important to us that you do so. Get on the streaming device and watch online or listen online if you can. Somebody just sent me a horrible picture. You guys have been cruel. Some of the stuff that you guys post is cruel. The internet is an evil place. The people are just absolutely evil. Evil you are. Evil. I just don't know what's wrong with you. I've been thinking about, Scott Adams passing away today. Many of you heard the infamous writer and cartoonist of Dilbert fame has passed away. People magazine, you're a piece of garbage. The headline that you wrote about him is just disgusting, but you're People magazine, so what do you expect? But his wife read his last missive he wrote on, I think, which is very early January, just a couple of days ago. She read that on the air, and it was such a good letter that he wrote. If you haven't checked it out, please go read it. And he's got a book that I didn't know he wrote. I really wasn't a Scott Adams guy. Like, I used to get an alert for his coffee with Scott Adams, and I would listen now and again. A lot of people swear by his podcast. I know Greg Gutfeld, who I like very much. I like his philosophy. He was a huge a supporter and follower of Scott Adams. And I like Greg Gutfeld, so it made me like Scott Adams even more. But he wrote a book that I haven't read yet, and I'm probably going to read it and then talk about it. That now I know that he wrote the book. I immediately have to get it to my wife. And I think both of us should read it. And after I read it, if I really believe in this book and I have a feeling that I'm going to really like it, I will share that book with the rest of you. As you know, I'm not a reader. So if I'm sharing a book with you, that's a big deal. It's a really big deal. So I'll talk to you about it real soon. Let's get another check of traffic and weather. Mark Christopher is in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. But before he does, Mark, I've never asked you this. I asked you about movies, I asked you about music, but I never asked you about books. Is there a book that you can say, and I hate the usage of this term, but I'm just going to use it just for the case of asking you it. Is there a book that you read that changed your life? Fiction, nonfiction, inspirational, anything like that?
No, but I will tell you a comedy album that changed my life. Sam Kinnison's Louder Than Hell.
I got to remember which one. What was the most famous bit from that?
Go where the food is!
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. That is one of the best comedy albums he's ever done.
I saw him live about 10 times. It was absolutely hilarious. Now, the first time I heard him, I was at Mesquamaket down in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
We were listening to him on the beach, and I was probably 25 at that time, and I believe listening to that kept me from getting married till I was 41. I heard that, and I was like...
That was a big argument of his. Wow.
Man.
Yeah.
Look at that guy in the front row. How long you been married? 5 years? Look at his face. Look at his face. And I heard that, and I think that pushed me getting married until I was 41.
Did you ever tell your wife that?
No.
Okay. Boy, I hope she doesn't listen.
And that's why we've been together for 25 years.
Good point.
I don't tell her my previous life, which is good.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is.
You know who it is. It's Reese on the radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
Again, don't forget, Friday at Between Rounds, Bagels on Hartford Turnpike in Vernon. We'll be there for the show, broadcasting live. Connecticut Food Share will be there. They'll also be selling half-off coupons for you to buy a dozen bagels a month for 3 months. You'll be able to go down there and go pick one up. So make sure you're there. You'll meet myself there. Of course, Roseanne will be there with me, and all of you sort of hang out in our studio audience. And we'll talk about whatever it is that's going on throughout the day. Frankie boy, how are you, sir?
Good. A couple of things. If you're an American-born citizen and there's a federal warrant out for your arrest and the government finds you in a foreign country, legally, they're supposed to contact that country, have you arrested, extradited back to face trial. You're an American-born citizen.
I would imagine so.
Yeah, but not if you're Barack Hussein Obama. The hell with the trial. He ordered the military to kill him with a drone.
Indeed, he
they were
did.
Muslims.
Yeah,
They were Muslims.
that's the crazy part. Not only was he a Muslim, again, an American citizen. Very good point.
Born in America.
Yeah, born in America. Yeah, exactly. Not even a naturalized citizen, a born in American citizen. And the argument was, again, not that he had actually committed terrorism. He was inspiring terrorism. And no one made the argument that he deserved due process. People, it's cognitive dissonance to the umpteenth degree. What do you say? I mean, you can't really say anything about it.
And the second thing, the Supreme Court, let's hope this nonsense is put to rest forever, took up the ban on men in women's sports. Put this to sleep. They don't belong in women's sports. In my opinion, they belong in a mental hospital. There's where they belong. And throw the key away. Yes. Please. I'll tell you, if you look at this country right now, I know the majority of people in this country are white. But the majority of people in this country, I'm sorry, the truth is they're sick and they're white. They are sick white.
You know what? Was it you who said that? No, it was White Mike. No, White Mike said that. He said, you notice that there's not like an epidemic of transgender kids in the hood?
let's look at the facts. The black population is 14%. What percentage of them are a member of the LGBTQIA?
It's really small and not growing.
5 people? No, 5 people? It's all these white mentally ill
5 people. There's over 48, maybe 50 million people. It's definitely not.
Maybe 7 of them. This is a problem in the white Americans, white Rikers, right? This is a problem. Look at these white women in Minnesota.
Oh, yeah.
And what's wrong with these women?
You know what? Hold on. I can tell you. This is insane that I actually saw this, and I cannot believe that I didn't have the video ready to go because, I don't know, why did I not have this? This is probably the most insane video. I mean, when I tell you it's crazy that it happened, it blew my mind, and I cannot believe I did not have it ready for today's show. But it was, what's her name? Joy Reid. I know you're familiar with her, right?
Yeah.
And Joy Reid was on, I want to say, this girl, Angie Yee. Yeah, here it is. I knew it was here. Let me see if I can find it, because it is the most insane thing ever that she says about white women and their role in the Minneapolis case. Hold on.
Whipping up this fear of Somalis,
No, you know what? It's going to take me a while to find it. I got to find the
No,
video.
but they're everywhere. They're in the No Kings March. They're with Black Lives Matter. They're with Antifa. What is going on with these young white women in America?
I would honestly say it has everything to do with the fact, as Gutfeld said yesterday on the 5, he says that, they have nothing to do with their lives. They're just absolutely, like, I don't know, devoid of any purpose.
Nothing to do in their lives, and no man wants to be with them. Let me tell you what happened. Last summer in Connecticut. Quickly, There was a big singles event in Connecticut in July. Okay, for young women to meet young men. Everybody that showed up at that event, number one, was white. Second, there were 103 young white women that showed up. Take a guess how many young white men showed up at that singles event to meet women. Take a guess.
I don't know.
2.
Wow.
2. The word is out. Stay away from these white women. Everybody.
There will be no procreation if that's the case, right?
You go to a foreign country like Sicily, Greece, Brazil, or Italy, or you get yourself invited. And let me finish what I said last week. Why do you not want to date a young, beautiful black woman that goes to college? Because they're going to poison her mind. She's going to start acting white 4 years later. You don't want that. You want her to be a black woman. So you don't want her to go to college. Those liberal Democrats, those white liberals are going to poison her mind.
White Mike's going to have a field day with this. Thank you, Frank. Let me deal. I found the audio. Hold on. Let me get to that. This is it. Joy. I think this is Joy Reid.
This woman was part of a group of people who they trained to try to be ICE interrupters. And what they try to do is observe what ICE is doing, film them, and try to use their white privilege, to be honest. They're mainly white people.
Which is what we ask.
Which is what we ask them to do, right? Because black people, we can't put our bodies on the line because cops will shoot us. And so the presumption had been, particularly a white woman, because remember, part of the rationale for doing this with ICE is to save white women, pristine white women, from being ravaged by, criminal brown men. So white women, have been taking the lead in being the ones to step forward.
It was the most insane thing. I heard it today, and I went, white women across the country, you need to hear this. And that's what Joy Reid's saying. The black women said, the reason why we're not out there with you, ladies, is because you've got to put yourself on Front Street. You are there, your white privileged self. You got to, because the cops won't shoot you. Well, but you have to go out there because we as black women, we can't. So you have to. Oh, it's so ugly. Just is. Speaking of white Mike, what's going on, big guy?
Oh, man. Well, I wasn't going to go there, but, I know Frank. Frank's an interesting caller. And Frank's got his issues there. And, Frank's like the guy who's trying to tell you that you should really, really, really go eat at this out-of-the-way, dirty little restaurant that nobody ever eats at. He's going to tell you it's the best thing ever. Bro, the reason white men don't want to date black women is the same reason black men don't date black women. They suck. They're horrible. They're horrible people.
They're not. Listen, they're not horrible people. They may be not so great in the dating pool. They're not horrible people. They just not be great in the dating pool.
They're also horrible customers at restaurants or horrible customers.
Not all of them. I know plenty of them. You're such a blanket guy. But what was your point anyway?
Hey, Reese, Japanese people tend to be short. Go ahead, say it.
Mike, get to your point before I have to hang up on you.
I think people are letting this Minnesota scandal fraud crap disappear, and they shouldn't. This is the most important thing we're ever going to see in our lifetimes. as far as political scandal, and they're trying to let it go. Tim Walz didn't decide to not run for re-election because he's not guilty. Know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll totally agree.
Has dirt all over him. He's going to resign. And looking at him, if Trump is as gangster as I think he is, they're going to start talking to Tim Walz about RICO like they're going to talk to all these people about RICO. And if RICO broke the mob, it'll break these people. They will talk. And 100% they'll talk.
I couldn't agree with you more. In fact, there's word that resignation is supposed to happen this week.
I hope so, because if he does before February, I make $1,000 on Kalshi. He needs to resign so I can make my money.
Hey, you know what? That Kalshi thing, what's it called? Is it Kalshi? Is that how you pronounce it?
Kalshi. It's basically futures trading, but it's gambling.
Yes.
This weekend, my friend, I turned $10 into $200 betting on basketball and football, just pulling long shots.
Okay, Roland, this is your wheelhouse, my friend. Do you know anything about this betting app or this Kalshi thing? Okay. Apparently, and you would know this, Mike, didn't they have one of those Kalshi, like, sort of betting odds on a screen in New York about the election of Mamdani?
Oh, yeah, dude, it's everything.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Right now, I have $10 down on whether Donald Trump signs an executive order this week. You can literally predict anything. Sports, politics, mentions.
Can you create a betting, create a betting line on something? Like if I invent like something like that, Frank is going to call up and talk about beautiful black women on the show?
No, I don't think so. But right now, in my culture part of it, it's all Oscars, like who's going to win the Grammy, who's going to win the Oscar for stuff.
Okay.
You can tech and science. It's fun to play with at $10 a time. Like you can predict what the temperature is going to be in LA today.
Wow. Okay, so they set the terms of what you're betting on. Is that right? Okay. All right. Well, I've seen it, so I didn't know exactly what it was, but I'm going to check it out now.
And if you're a degenerate gambler, stay away because this is for degenerate gamblers, 100%.
I don't think Roland is a degenerate gambler, but I'm concerned about him being on this.
There's a spot here where you can gamble on how many deliveries Boeing is going to have in Q4. That's degenerate gambler territory.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yep. All right. So, yes. God bless Frank for him to take the sisters off the market, man. I hope he has 4 girlfriends.
Goodbye. You're the best. Yeah. He couldn't get more controversial. Hey, it's Boston Julie on the line. What's going on, girl?
Hey. South Park already did an episode about that, which was amazing.
I saw it.
If you haven't seen it, it's funny.
Yeah, about the Cartman convincing the white woman to charge ICE officers. Yes.
No. They did one where they said Kyle's mom was going to go to Israel and bomb Gaza or something like that.
There was a betting line on that?
Yes, it was funny.
No, they did not.
They did. You have to watch it. And then she ends up going to Israel and arguing with Netanyahu, which was funny. But I was really calling because of what you were talking about earlier. Like in the 90s, nobody cared when they had a gun in Elian Gonzalez's face.
Yes.
And that little kid was terrified. People were like, boy, bye, see you.
It was.
Nobody cared.
Well, you know, it's funny because they tried to use that photograph to outrage people who wanted Elian Gonzalez to stay. Right? They were just like, look at what Janet Reno's, the Department of Justice did. Look at how awful they are putting the gun in that scared child's face. Yeah, you know why that died real fast? I'll tell you. This was the pushback on that argument. Do you remember that issue was they wanted the child to stay with a cousin and thought the father had no parental rights, even though the mother put the kid on an inner tube in shark-infested waters and thought the father was irresponsible.
And she didn't know how to swim.
Yes. I'm like, I couldn't believe that the father was seen as unfit to raise his own child, but yet the mother put the kid in shark-infested waters. They found Elian on an inner tube on the shores of Florida. It's like, what? It's insanity. These people are insane. Right. But yes, the Elian Gonzalez thing is a perfect example of why these people should say, You know what? And that was under Clinton's era. Not a person batted an eye. You're 100% right, Jules.
Yep.
Thank you, dear.
Talk to you later.
You got it. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your mind. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the radio. You have a good night, pleasant tomorrow. Don't forget, Friday, we are at the Between Rounds. It's in Vernon, and that is on the Hartford Turnpike. We'll be there roughly maybe a couple of hours before so we can powwow, talk, maybe even have some food. We'll all break bread together. And then we'll do the show. Roseanne, of course, will be there. Connecticut Food Share will be there. We'll talk to them. And we'll do a whole bunch of other stuff. I will be uploading the new song, Hit and Run. You can find it on YouTube and also on ReeseOnTheRadio.com. So stand by for that. We'll talk about it again tomorrow.
Wait a minute. I want to know more about this song.
Yes.
Who wrote it? Who produced it? Who put it together?
It just comes from Reese on the Radio Records and Tapes. I wrote it.
Is that you? Did you write it?
I wrote it.
I think it's a hit record.
Thank you, sir.
I'm not just saying it. I think it's a great song.
Thank you. It's supposed to be a parody song.
But it's good.
It's catchy. It is.
It is
catchy.
Very catchy. Seriously. I'm not just saying it just to
No, I believe you. You wouldn't.
It's a really good song,
Mark. I know for a fact you would never come. You spin records all the time. If there's anybody who knows, I give it to you.
No, it's a good. It sounds great.
Thank you, sir.
It's very, obviously very topical right now.
Yeah,
you got to get it out there, Reese. You know a lot of people in the record industry. Let's get this thing taken off because that's where all the music off the radio gets played now off of the internet. So I think this is going to be a hit.
Thank you, sir.
Crossing my fingers.